To kind of give you an overview of what we're going to be doing for the rest of the afternoon, let me go ahead and share my screen. Once again, I will drop in the chat the link um, for just feature requests, asset requests, anything requests, bug things, and anything you want to drop. It's all anonymous if you want. You can leave an email if you want to be contacted. Please use that. Okay. And let's see, where was I? Due to the nature of things, we're going to be working a little bit more on just messing around with elementary. So this can be working on your own project. This can be being like, oh, I envision my students using this in this way, and let's just see what I can do with it. Or it could be something like, I'm lost, I need help me out, please. And we'll help you through that process. So we're going to spend some time just letting ourselves go into breakout rooms. We actually had, if you want to be very adventurous, we do have like those lovely coding challenges if you want to be adventurous and tackle those. But do remember that if your students are like in the K-5 space, they don't have to be dealing with a lot of these blocks, because what we focus on and what you can focus on in your classroom is the storytelling aspect. The coding is just another dimension of storytelling that could be an avenue for our students to enjoy writing more, or for students to experiment with coding that never thought they would like coding. But it's not a required aspect. So don't feel like, oh my God, there's a lot of information and my kids can't do this. Well, if they're in second grade or third grade, I mean, they can't really unless you provide them with a lot of help and a lot of time. So don't really like stress out too much about that. And we do have a couple of, if you go under lessons in elementary, we do have a couple of examples that are for like the K2 grade levels. So I'm not in lessons right here. If you go like K2, then you can take a look at these and see, like, for example, this animated gratitude card might be something that you might want to start off with, because it's just a very simple, like, thank you card where you can decorate and then animate with a play text effect. So we're going to be doing breakout rooms, but we can jump in and out of your own will. And I will be in one room, and David with tech support and everything will be in another room. I mean, I'm also tech support, so whatever. And you guys can just play around. Whatever lesson you didn't finish, maybe from the past couple of days, you can maybe continue. This is really your time to just kind of explore it. If you want to chat, you can chat. So if you have a product made, can you get feedback on it? Of course. This is the time that whatever you kind of want, we will help support you in that manner and fashion. So if you want, do you want feedback as a group, or just feedback on like one-on-one, or you want the group feedback? Because we could do it as a group. Up to you.
Right. Nicole, I'm gonna add an additional room called Nicole.
Yeah.
This way, if anybody wants to come and join you, they can go and join you. So I added an additional room. If anybody wants to, I don't know if we want to keep the original rooms that we have, if we want to change them up. You want me to make it so that you can jump around to your own rooms? We can do that as well.
Yeah, I think it's because we have a
Um,
lot of people who are just chilling and listening in. So
right.
it's
All
awkward
right.
when
I'm
you're
gonna,
just like, is anyone here?
yeah, I've been doing that a lot. All right. I'm gonna set it for 25 minutes. And again, if you end up in a room with nobody and you want to stay by yourself, that's cool. If you want to find other people, just send me a message. And if you want to go to Nicole, I can move you over to her room as well. So I'm gonna leave the rooms as is, and then you can let me know if you want them adjusted. So I set them for 25 minutes. So the rooms are now open. And if you're just joining us, and you would like to be in a room, let me know and I will move you over. Again, if you end up alone and you want to be with someone,
Recording in progress.
You can send someone to me. I don't have anybody here. You can send someone to me if there's more people. I don't have anyone here. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. I was the one that we were talking about the.
I sent you the Google Doc. Did you get it?
No. Let me look. Let me check.
Unless it was, I mean, I put your last name and it popped up with a
Yeah.
name, so
So
I just used that
it got
one.
sent to my email, or
I don't know. Let me try again. Let me try again. Or
Okay.
give me another email. That's better.
It'd be a dot Velasco.
Okay, I'm hold on one second. I'm not in the project. Where is it? Recent. It's called Elementary History of Aviation Timeline. That's what it was. Share. What is it?
A dot Velasco.
A dot.
VELAZ.
Yeah, I sent it to you via your school account, Marin.
Oh, I do. I have it. I just
Okay,
checked. I looked
okay,
at it.
great.
Thank you so much.
No problem. So you just look through that lesson, you see what needs to be amended in it, and then we can work on the iterative process of amending that and learning how to
Okay.
use like ChatGPT if you're not familiar with to help with the prompting to just
To
speed up the
get it. Okay.
process. I mean, obviously we could always go through like what vocabulary words fit best here,
Right, yeah.
but
Thank
if you
you.
had to choose like from a bucket list of 50 vocabulary words instead of thinking them up yourself, it's always helpful.
Yes. So now once it's there, how do you get it into now the
Okay,
lesson in?
so the next step that we're going to do, so we'll go through an example of a small lesson together after
Okay.
this general thing. We'll do
Sure.
a like a
Oh, perfect.
two-pager together. And then
Okay.
after that, we'll go through creating your
Oh,
aviation one essentially and moving that over. But we'll
okay.
do a quick one
Perfect.
first. Anyway, anyone have any
Thanks.
questions? All of a sudden, I got a whole bunch of people joining. I feel so popular. Either that or elementary has so many issues and everyone's so confused about this PD. Any questions or anything that you want to see happen? And you're like, oh, or maybe you want to just clarification about how would I use it in my X grade level or X subject or things like that. You could also type it in the chat. No big deal.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be teaching a 4-5 combo,
Uh-huh.
and I am already committed to using Vex Robotics and Scratch, which are block based. So that will be a piece that, interfaces that I will be working with the kids on.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to figure out how to integrate Elementari into the work without overwhelming my kids with interfaces. I think that there's some fluency between interfaces because of, events and just the way that things are named. So I guess
Yeah, how best to do it. Okay,
What would be a good kind of quick and painless introductory lesson for them that I could put together or that you already have that would kind of lend itself to not oversaturate them,
Mm.
if that makes sense.
4 or 5. So you could always just do like an animated card. It'll talk about
Right.
sequencing. Just it would be a simple one pager, get like one object on the page and then animate it to move from one place to another. With Vex though, are the coordinate systems pixel or Cartesian? That's the only thing that might, I think, be a confusing point.
I don't have enough experience with it to know, to be honest.
Or Scratch. I can look at Scratch.
Scratch would be
Is it Pixel? Okay,
Yeah.
so if they're already familiar with Pixel, then they'll be fine. Because I think that would be my concern at least. It's like, but this program uses the math way, and this one doesn't.
Right.
But hold on, let me see. Like, where's Paige? Let me see if I could ping her. Can she join in, or I send her a message? Because Paige would be the best to ask about that. Or when we go back together, I think other people might have a similar question because she uses like code.org. She used to use Tinker and all of those things.
Right.
So, but her kids also transitioned to elementary. She could talk a little bit about that in particular.
Right.
Since she's done both. So, I'll make either, if I don't remember, make sure to just like ping it and say, hey, I have this, but I'm gonna write it down also on my end, and hopefully I can remember with my little bird brain. But it's a good question. And I should definitely have a page on the website that talks about this, I think, as well. Once we have once we have a better answer for it. So
transition or a link to or how to because I don't want to limit them either. And I feel like this, as we were just talking about in the kind of lunch discussion about letting kids use the tools that they want to use to show what they know. And so having this platform, I think, given how well it does allow storytelling to come out a lot easier and more with fewer bumps in the road, I think, than kind of using Scratch or especially Vex, because Vex really does have its own, it's really robotics, right? Really storytelling at all, right? But I feel like this has such strong potential for lending itself to that. I don't want to limit them to one thing without also overwhelming them, if that makes sense.
Of course.
So, and I love how kind of, this to me is very much like Google Slides, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just a cooler, more fancy version of Google Slides that I think kids will automatically have some fluency in because they are 4th and 5th graders already. And so I don't want to, I don't want to let it not get used.
I mean, we did try our best to look like Google Slides to be less intimidating.
Well, yeah, and honestly, when because I was talking to a colleague yesterday, and I was explaining, I'm like, it's like Google Slides, met with Scratch, and they had this baby. And then they went, let's not do block-based, let's do node-based coding and like change it a little bit. And then let's have all these assets that you can pull from. And then this really cool lesson builder thing, so it was, yeah.
I'm sure your colleague was completely like, question mark, what?
No, he's pretty good at following my
okay, good.
Crazy. So yeah, no, I think he totally got it. He probably also was like, oh, that's why you like it. I know you too well, you and your slide.
Okay, well, that's great. Any other questions? Yeah, we'll bring it up for Paige for sure, because I'm sure a lot of other people have similar questions, since this is like a lot of people here have some computer science experience since it is marketed as a CS course. So, yeah. Oh, you said the same thing to your friend? You guys are good at this. I'm so bad at explaining what it is because every time I do, people just don't really understand. It's a bit of a problem. But any other questions or just anything that you want to jump in for or something you want to see how to do? So, how are you all doing? Are you guys going through a lesson or are you just messing around on your own? Getting coffee?
It keeps kicking me out. It keeps saying that elementary lost connection. I have to reconnect like every step.
Let's take a look at that.
Yeah, mine was actually doing the same thing.
1 second. Let's see. See, this is the stuff you have to just tell me, and then I can go take a look.
All right. Hi, Nicole. Sorry, it took me long. I am logging in, I guess, like late in the afternoon, so I'm a little lost on what's going on.
Uh-huh.
What are we supposed to be working on?
So right now is just the time to really work on whatever. So
Mhm.
we had some feedback that some people just wanted some build time. So right now,
Okay.
like you can just go through a lesson. If you have any questions, you can ask me and I can like guide you through things. Or some people were lost, so I can help them with
I mean,
maybe
if you don't
understanding.
mind maybe going through a very, like, how to even begin.
Yeah, okay, great. So we'll go through like let's say what grade do you teach? We'll pretend you're a student in that grade
Okay, so
level.
look, so let's say, so right now I'm doing a summer program and I'm
Mhm.
doing ancient Egypt. So let's say I wanted to do like a little digital story, like a little interactive story on the Nile River.
Ah, so once you want to get into subject integration, that
Uh-huh.
is going to be our next topic where we're going to
Okay.
use AI to help us generate a lesson that directly aligns to whatever you're teaching. So the
Okay,
reason why
so
we have these foundational steps is so you can kind of imagine what kind of project you want your students to have, whether that's like
okay,
an app or a map or an interactive timeline. And then we'll use the AI generator to come up with the lesson
that's good.
milestones. And then that will be the basis of creating those step-by-step instructions that you see. Have you gone through one of those lessons?
I have in the past.
Okay.
But I really right now, that's why I know you email and I said to you that today I'm going to kind of like try to go in and do a little bit more and see where it is that I need help in.
Uh-huh.
I haven't
Wait,
done it yet.
so it's like okay, so let's go through
So I'm like a beginner, let's say.
okay, so we're gonna go through the very like the About Me book. Okay, so this
Okay.
is what you'll see. You'll see instructions on the right.
Can you share your screen,
Oh,
please?
sorry. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm like talking like you can see everything, right? Of course you
Now
can.
I see it. Yeah.
Okay, so once you create a project, this is what your students will see. You can set the level of your students if you wanted to, those that need a little
Okay.
bit more help, so that it's at basic or beginner level, so they can't do anything except the instructions. Okay, there's read to me for those that might need it and all that. So it says I need to add a text box to my page. I'm going to do so. I add a text box. Okay, it auto validates and it moves on. Then it says you can put your name or nickname. So I'm going to say Nicole. Then I move on to designing a little bit about my my page. I just go through the
Okay.
steps, okay, and it auto validates.
This is a little bit like Code Monkey.
Okay. So then you go to the event graph side, and that's where we can code.
Okay.
So
Oh, okay.
So let me go back to so you can see the rest of my page. I'm going to set my level to approaching, which means I still have the highlights, but I won't have the overlay. I could do other stuff. So the back side is where we can code. And so we can put objects onto our page.
Okay.
The object blocks. We only have one. We get the event block. So we can find events in the right-hand tab. We're going to use on page start. Okay, so if we need to know like what are events, what are objects, there's this little box here. We can click on it and it opens it up and it says events tell the computer when to start doing something. Event blocks are orange on elementary. So event. And then we need to go ahead and get a transform block. So a transform blocks are all of the functions. We have transform functions, sound functions, and control functions. Functions are all green because they're an action. So you could think of it like action verb, like play a text effect, animate, move, scale, rotate, play music. Those are all functions. So we need to connect our blocks together to make them work. So drag the purple circle on the object block text 0. Okay. And then same thing with on page start to the play text effect. Okay. So then we need to change the effect from typewriter to something else. Let's do pop. And when I click preview, it animates my name. So that's the basics of the idea of like this is a milestone. So right now we just finished milestone 1 and we're going to milestone 2. So a lesson is broken up into different milestones. They're just, the steps.
All right, that I can do. That I can do. I can animate.
So then after that, you can record a voiceover. So let's do a page 2. Let's add a speech text box. I love, or I am a night person. I click on next, click on the microphone, click the middle. I am a night person. So I have my little sound bar. I can trim it like this. Save. And give it a name. I don't know, speech. But then it'll save. Now when we go to the back side of the page, I'm going to go ahead and go to get my event again on page start because I want to play my recorded sound when the page starts. And then it's white triangle goes to white triangle. And then play a sound. I am a night person. And we're done with milestone 2. So every lesson is broken up into milestones, and each milestone you can choose whether or not to give it step-by-step instructions or to make it so that it's just a descriptive milestone. And so coming up next, we'll be working with the Elementary GPT to come up with the milestones, and more importantly, in my opinion, coming up with the student organizer for some of the larger projects. Because the problem with a large project is that it's large and it requires a lot of writing. And if students are not guided through what to write, they're not going to be writing, period. That's what I noticed at least. So like, just from our perspective, before, elementary was just like a sandbox where people can come in and do whatever story they wanted, and the teacher would just give them some guidance in the back. But like, what ended up happening is we just ended up seeing a whole bunch of flying dragons, and that's it. Like, no story, nothing that was very coherent. So it was a bit unfortunate, and a lot of people were not using any of the other animations or voices or even really anything. So that's why we came up with these step-by-step instructions to really scaffold the process. And now we're seeing a lot more completion for more complex projects. And I think the same thing is with writing that we can kind of assume. So the writing organizer is like all the new lessons. The older lessons don't have it, but like the newer ones, not these ones because these are like the hour of code ones, but like, for example, like the poem generator, for example. This one has a writing organizer, and the students can fill in the writing organizer with a simile, a metaphor. They pick a mood, and they're much more deliberate about their writing before they get into designing and coding their page.
Okay, so then all they have to do with this is they have to fill in the blanks.
Exactly. And then once they fill in the blanks, these blanks will then just be like, either you could copy and paste it if you're using Google Docs, or they could just type up what they've written, right? So if you want them to handwrite it, then they could just type it up and put it in. So it's just also, yeah, it's less stressful,
For example,
I think, for
where
everything.
it says, pick a mood. Right?
So
pick a
this,
mood.
yeah, this here is your, this is your brainstorm. So step 1 is your brainstorm. And then usually step 2 is like your actual, like, what text you're going to write. So this is your title. This is your like question input. And I'm going to go ahead and check my server really quick because I'm having some disconnection issues. But okay. Okay. So Chanel, are you still getting disconnected all the time right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, every time I click, it
Every
gives me
time you
the
click, let me see if it's maybe your project that got funky.
it's not just the project, like anytime I click anything in elementary, it does it.
Can you try incognito and then go on elementary and see if you have the same issue? And then yeah, just let me know. I think we're going to be closing in 30 seconds. If
Okay.
yeah, let me know if you try incognito and go onto elementary if you're still having the issue of losing connection. Did you have this issue before, or was it just like when you try to sign in now?
It was happening yesterday too, but I thought it was because I had logged into 2 different computers, but today I'm only on 1.
Do you know what your internet speed is?
Recording in progress.
What was your
Welcome.
Hello.
All right, Nicole, share your screen, please.
Yes. So where am I?
Okay, so on the schedule for 2:05, we have debriefing from our project. So if anybody wants to share their project or has any requests, Nicole's putting the QR
Oh,
code back.
I forgot. There's one question that we wanted to ask you, which is if you're a teacher who teaches using like a computer science or STEM teacher that teaches students coding and you've used Blockly based coding consistently and throughout, how is the reaction of students when they kind of like translate into elementary? And if there's any struggles with that you've seen?
Absolutely no learning curve at all. It's very intuitive for them because they're moving blocks, even though they're connecting the dots together, the nodes. They really did not have any struggle at all. My one recommendation, which I use all the time, was I made sure that they had headphones, earbuds, some kind of listening device, and I insisted that they use the read to me feature. So this way they didn't miss any of the instructions. So as long as they were listening to the directions, they were just able to follow along step by step. And by the end of last year, the second graders were even able to follow along and do this on their own. So, and it's if if you're a classroom teacher and you introduce Google Slides first, they'll definitely understand the concepts of putting the backgrounds in and adjusting the images with the little blue dots and adding text boxes and things like that. But the whole end of the year for the littlest ones, because they already got those skills for the year, it was absolutely no learning curve whatsoever.
And what grade level did you first start with? I forgot. Like the first
Yeah,
time
I
you tried
started with
it.
with the second grade, but they had to have those original skills. So definitely not second grade in September. Because they needed to know how to use a mouse and how to find the letters on the keyboard. But if your K1s or if your K2s have already familiarized themselves with using a computer, you can definitely start this with third grade beginning of the school year.
And I think you started with just the card, right? The lesson that was the
Um,
card, or which one was it?
yeah, we did a couple of different ones. There was one, I think it's a K2 lesson. It's where is Kitty hiding or something?
Ah,
That
yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
yeah, because this way they could work on their own. They love that one, and some of them they were really creative with that. And the nice thing about the Where is Kitty is my multilingual students and my neurodivergent students, were able to do this without any assistance at all.
Yeah. So
So
whereas
this,
Kitty has no coding at all, it's just purely like design, keyboarding, resizing, those type of skills.
right. So if you have K1 students or even K2 students who don't have any computer background at all, this is a great place to start. And then once they start this, your students who are a little bit more advanced, they're going to start discovering the coding. And then everybody's going to end up running over to their computers and say, how did you do that? How did you do that? And it's just the collaboration and the communication, the creativity is just so wonderful to watch. And it's not always the highly academic students who discover these things. So yes, some of the other ones that we started with, as Nicole mentioned, was the animated card is a lot of fun. Definitely start simple. So don't take on anything too rigorous in the beginning of the year. I think I did the one that I showed on Monday, that Ocean Mystery. We started doing that in March, so they were already very comfortable with the platform. Did Nicole, I missed Tuesday. Did you guys do the one where you use the voice to
Yes,
move
yes.
the pieces? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
I
that
think
was
we had
Tuesday.
breakout rooms for that though. So some people did that, and I showed
That's one
instead
of
like the novel effect sort of style of
okay.
creating
So
like a
that was
novel effect.
yeah, the if you didn't look at the voice over one, definitely check that out because that's one of my favorite ones to teach. And I did that with my students, especially when we did robotics because Nicole's the one with the I think it's a winter version
Yeah, it's the
because I think we
winter
did
maze.
right. But it goes so nice hand in hand with teaching plug coding and with teaching robotics because they're moving in a grid. So and their voice is telling the character, the sprite, what to do.
Yeah, so this is the one.
See, looks familiar to those of you who do either unplug coding or robotics.
Up. Right. 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 I said right. Right. Up. Up.
This is so much like Bebot.
Yep. Reminds me of the Bebot. And the nice thing about this, especially if you have multilingual learners or neurodivergent students, they're not typing. They're using their voice, so they're getting used to speaking out loud, which is usually a little bit scary for them. So and just by saying, right, left, up, down, it's just four simple words, but it's getting them to be able to be more comfortable with their voice and speaking out in class. So and then of course you can definitely make this way more complicated. They added all kinds of different things. And as Kathy mentioned, if you look at the Bebot maps online, they can recreate something like that. That one's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so Kathy shared another simple idea with which is to just share what you did over the summer. Just add some pictures, find a nice background, type a simple sentence. Make sure to capitalize the first letter, period at the end.
And then with this, you'll have a couple of students say to you, well, how do I get the car to move? So they're going to start thinking about those things. Even if you're just giving them something real simple, they're going to start wondering and trying things out on their own. So it's a great starting point.
Yeah, one of them will probably learn how to play background music, and then everyone will be like, "Oh my God, that's so cool! How do you do that?" And then that kid has his little special spotlight moment where he can go off and, or she can go off and teach all the other classmates. Okay, so let's go ahead and now continue with the cool stuff. AKA, how do I like align this exactly into my curriculum perfectly, magically, and marvelously? So we're going to actually create together a very simple, just like what we've seen, like the very simple lesson that's only going to be between 1 to 2, maximum 3 pages, so that we can see the process of the lesson builder and how that ties into everything. Okay, so if you haven't already, let me go ahead and, where am I? Oh, are we supposed to take a break? I don't even remember anymore. I know some people wanted more breaks, so I don't remember. How are we all feeling?
I think if you want to take a 6-minute break, we could take a 6-minute break because I think our next part, which is the build with me, is at 2:20. So if you
Okay,
want to do
great.
a quick 6-minute,
If you, so this
Okay.
is a quick break. Go to the bathroom. If you need help or anything, I'll still be on, but just take a quick breather before we get to our next section, which will be the build with me with ChatGPT, aka custom GPT coding wizard and all of that. So if anybody needs help or wants to just know of anything, we can also hop into a breakout room as well.
Can I share with you what I made on here?
Yeah. I'd love to see it. Hold on, let me stop sharing.
And this is the I forget what it was called, but it was the one with the letters. Do you know what I'm talking about?
What with the letters?
So a letter matching game.
Ah, yes.
But I don't know if I'm doing it right. So let me get my chat. Okay, here we go.
You could also share it. Yeah, send it to me so I can hop into your project really quick. Take over. So okay, so the letter A goes inside.
So did I not finish it, or is that why nothing's really happening?
One second, I'm looking at your code. So I'm seeing dragged object, target object. Ah, so I think you're confused about what the drag over means. So essentially, the game is basically saying that, I don't know which A it is. You have a lot of A's here.
Yeah, I thought I had 3 A's.
So let's see. Let's figure out which one it is. I want to preview, see which one I could drag. I can drag this one. So this is the one I can drag. This is the A that your code is referring to. Now it's saying when I drag it over this box, then it should play the sound. Let's go ahead and take a look at the low. Ah, there we go.
Okay. But I didn't need all those other A's?
You don't need all those other A's. You just need one. And of
Okay.
course, this sound effect is really long.
Okay. Because when I was doing it, it said elementary timed out. So I had to go back. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's okay. So make it a little bit smaller. I think this should be like a B or something, right? I don't know. Let's
Okay, so you make
preview.
it different letters. Okay.
So what it's saying with the drag over block, when you say threshold 4 corners, it's basically saying that it needs to fit inside of the targeted object completely.
Okay.
So if the A is too big, like it's never going to fulfill that condition.
Right.
So, like, or it will, but it needs to be like within. So,
Okay. And I noticed when I was trying to pick the sounds, a lot of them had a little thing next to it. I guess because it's not a paid
you
subscription.
need to give me your email and I can upgrade you, okay?
Okay. But we
Oh, you already have a school account. Then I need to link
we
you to
have
the
a
school account.
account that we
So
pay
that's
for next
yeah.
year.
So that's all I have to do. So link it to the school account, which is not done yet.
Okay. So send you my email.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nicole,
Yes.
the account that Angela has will be the account that I had,
Okay.
unless you want to make her a separate paid account.
No,
But
no, no, because it's since it's a school account, all the teachers are just linked to the school.
okay.
Yeah. So
And then
as
do I
long
have to
as
do anything on my end for
no, you
other
just have to
teachers
give
to use
me.
it?
Oh no, if you want other teachers to use it, there's an invite code and they can just use the invite code to join in, or you could just send me
Okay.
the list of the emails. Either one works.
Okay.
So
I just
there's
sent
a
it to you in the chat.
yeah.
Yes, some of the teachers do use it, Ange.
What?
Some of the teachers do use it.
Okay.
Like I know Julia's used it, Sam's used it. I think Sue. There's a couple of people that have used it.
Okay.
Okay, so I will actually send me myself a reminder email to make sure to
Just don't remove me so I can still demo.
no, it's fine. Teacher accounts are free, so it's not like you're gonna even
No. I don't want to disconnect from the students, so this way I could show off the things they've created.
yeah.
And
Where is
so I
it?
still have the student
Spots.
samples. All right. Mary put in the chat that she has a project that she's working on the lesson plan for, but she has something that she'd like to
Okay.
show.
Yes. So hold on. So Angela, I'm gonna send
Yes.
myself an email to connect you to the school account. You're already upgraded right now, but I need to do the connection to the school account, and I'm gonna send myself a reminder to also give you the admin permissions for your school, so that way you can
Okay.
also just send the link if other teachers want to sign in and use the school code to
Okay.
attach themselves to the school. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna schedule send an email for like next week sometime. Okay. Okay, so let's see Mary's project. Whoa. Welcome, young historians. You've been recruited. I'm going to preview this. Whoa. Okay, so I could drag this around the page. Whoa. Whoa.
There's only 3 for that one in South Carolina.
This is so good.
Yeah, that's kind of my problem because they appear at the same time. I kind of want them to appear one at a time, but
Mhm.
yeah, I guess when you drag over fast, they appear at the same time.
Maybe it's because it's what's it?
And yeah, that's kind of messy.
The other thing you can maybe do is have it as a voiceover. I don't know how that would play out when you drag fast. Maybe right now, if I drag here really fast, it goes to both. Is that what it is? Oh, okay. Try again. So essentially, you would want your students to, choose three different events or battles,
Yeah.
and then write about them,
Mhm.
and then go back in time, and then learn about. Then here it's. Then it's like a quiz.
Yeah, but I'm not finished with the coding for this one yet.
Whoa. This is really good. That's so exciting. Well, you already have your project already thought out. You don't even need the AI. You're good. You're good to go. You just need to maybe tell. Actually, when I have an idea like this where like you already know what kind of end product you have, you'll tell the GPT exactly how many pages you want, the exact constraints, like I want 3 battles, each battle, or I want 3 events. Each event should have, like 1 question or something. So that way when it comes up with the milestones, when you start building it again in the lesson builder, it's more clear.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
The other option is, of course, you could just have what grade are your students going to be in? It's like 7th grade, is it?
Yeah.
What grade?
7th.
Okay. Oh, I'm guessing so well. So 7th grade. So if it's 7th grade, for example, and if you think that they don't need the step-by-step instructions, you can also just say like, go at it. Here's like your writing organizer that you have to use, and then you can do it that way as well. But I mean, if you want the step-by-step, I personally really like the step-by-step, but
Yeah, I think they will benefit from the step-by-step.
so we'll go ahead. So like the most difficult part is knowing exactly what the student output should be. And when you're thinking about the student output, you should always think of it as kind of like the minimum project requirement. So what would the step-by-step should reflect the minimum must have in order to pass your class essentially. So it might not need background images, or it might not need, all those things, but it needs to have 3 facts about the Civil War, for example. So to figure out what is necessary and what's nice to have. I think that's the biggest challenge when you're trying to make the step-by-step lessons, so it's not too many milestones and not too many steps. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, you're so awesome with this. Thank you so much for sharing. This is so great. Yeah, Kathy says I'm impressed. Awesome. Okay, so someone asked a question about the class or school accounts. We get this with this PD. So you should already be upgraded to 150 student accounts, I believe. If you need more than 150, you have to wait because I haven't made that form yet. So once I make that form, I will share it out with all of you, and then you can put that information down. So But don't worry. I will get that out. It's just, even if I got that information right now, I probably wouldn't make your school accounts right now, since it's a bit more time consuming for me. So let's go ahead and continue with building our, what is it called? Our lesson. So if you were here yesterday, I shared out this document. I'm put it in the chat as well. But this is basically the blueprint behind the elementary custom GPT. So this is the context that develops the lesson, okay? So you have a kind of an understanding of where does this lesson come from, because I do give it certain constraints. So for example, I ground all the lesson instruction a lot with understanding by design principles and UDL principles as well. So the first thing, if you were to give it a theme, it would spit out this understanding by design like output that will be like, oh, it'll rewrite the standard in student-friendly language. It will go through and talk about maybe some multilingual supports that you can provide. It will give prerequisite knowledge and readiness, things that you should be familiar with, all of that. So you don't have to really worry about that. I'm not telling you how to, do your curriculum. It's just so that you know that this is the context that the lesson plan that's designed later is based off of, okay? I think it's kind of nice to look at occasionally to be like, hey, okay, I know this, but it's just there. So that's step one. Step two, I do have an initial assessment of the evidence. So then what the custom GPT will do is it will take whatever was spit out by step one of the essential questions to come up with the first assessment. Okay, so this is the content assessment. Okay, so this stuff is all pretty boring. We don't really care too much about that. What we care more about is the brainstorming of possible projects. Okay, so this is the context that I provide GPT so it knows what kind of projects are possible on elementary. So I'm like, okay, so each slide is a canvas for creativity and logic. You can create, interactive maps and timelines. You can do drag and drop puzzles, voice-driven projects with speech recognition. And it will also have like notes that says like, okay, it's trigger only. It can't capture or transcribe speech input. And this gives the AI more constraints on essentially... it gives the AI constraints about what kind of output it can have. So it doesn't like spit out complete nonsense with blocks that elementary doesn't have. This is what this document is for. Sometimes it still like has some weird things that it'll say that elementary does have but doesn't have. But that's only because this document is maybe not as complete as it needs to be. But that's what step 3 is about, okay? So if you're overwhelmed by this document, don't worry. You're just going to go into ChatGPT. I'm going to give you a link to the custom GPT, and you don't have to deal with all of this. This is really for those people who are like, well, how did you come out with this output to begin with? And are more interested in like the system design knowledge. Okay, so this is all available. Then after it comes out with a list of projects, because what happens is you're going to give it this constraint of what elementary is. You're going to give it like a grade band. You're going to say, so you as the prompter, as the teacher who's using the GPT tool, you're going to say, oh, I teach 5th grade, life sciences, we're studying, I don't know, what does 5th grade science study? Or I don't know, we'll just say you study cells or something.
The parts of the body.
Parts of the
Nicole,
body.
Yep, Nicole, can you change the view to 150? It's a little hard to see.
Sorry.
I know some people are following along on their own.
I'm
but,
sorry. Okay,
for
there
those
we
who
go.
can't,
175.
it's
There we
okay.
go.
Okay,
Thank
good.
you. So there we go. So step 3 is brainstorming elementary projects, and it's going to spit out 3 low floor level project options. This is no logic included. It's probably just going to be a play text effect or a play voiceover, if anything. So this is like the easy projects. If your students want to be more advanced, then there's like mid-level ones, and these are more like your choose your own adventures or maybe your app, something that's a little bit more challenging in terms of coding and narrative structure. They're going to have 3 advanced proposals and then 3 proposals that are like more voice and language focused formats. If you don't like any of these projects, you can just tell the AI, I don't like any of them, and it will spit out some new ideas. You can also be more specific and you can say, I kind of like this idea, but I don't like, I like the format of it, but I don't like the angle or topic. Can you provide me 4 other examples? So you might say, I like the idea of an interactive timeline, but I don't like the specific interactive timeline that you proposed. Can you give me like 4 other examples to like brainstorm? So once you figure out something that you like, the AI will then come out with a milestone plan. So the milestone planning document is basically going to spit out an output that says like there's going to be a title page, there's going to be, each page will be its own milestone, and it's becoming more similar to what you will see in the elementary lesson builder, okay? So that's great and all, but at the end of the day, I want this student organizer. I want the document that the kids are going to be writing or typing in, because yeah, that's what I want personally. So the final step would be to, from the milestones, come up with this student organizer. So you're going to say, yes, I want you to generate the student organizer, and it's going to spit out something. You will have to go in to correct it. And I want us as a group to really analyze this AI output and tell it all the terrible things it does in terms of the output it generates. So that way, like, I can make this model better and integrate it into elementary. So later on, you just have to say what you want, and then everything kind of just runs, and you don't have to do all the heavy lifting of copying and pasting text boxes into Google templates, and that can all be done for you. So our pipeline in the future is that we won't have a GPT, and we won't have you like copy and paste into like this template document of an organizer. Where is my template document? Yeah, because right now I am going through and I'm just like getting this template and I'm filling in this template, and it's taking a lot of time, and I don't like that. So we will have this hopefully automated very soon. But that's just kind of in the future. And then finally, it'll give you a list of assessments that you can pick and choose between. Okay, so this is if you wanted to, these are the instructions if you wanted to use your own large language model. So if you want to put it into Gemini, or if you want to put it into, I don't know, anything that has an upload feature, like does Magic School have an upload feature? You could probably put it in there. It doesn't matter. These are the system instructions. So it tells the AI what to do. It's just the instruction files. But because we have made a custom GPT, I'm going to pull it up. And we're going to actually do one together. So, and if you can, I'm going to share this link. Where is it? Do I have the link in the slide? I do, right?
Yeah, I'll post it.
Yeah, so if you can, open up the lesson builder and type one of the prompts or one of your own, and we're going to do a baby lesson together. You can say something like, I want a 1-page back to school project for grade and subject, okay? or 2-page back to school project, whatever you want.
Nicole, you have a question in the chat. It
Yes.
says, am I supposed to download these PDFs and then upload
No, no,
them
no, no, no,
again?
no, no, don't do that. This is if you
Yeah,
want it
it's
to
okay. You answered it. I got it. Thanks,
Yeah.
Paige.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't want it. I want to make sure everybody knew that they didn't have to.
Yeah.
Okay, all good.
Yeah. So don't download anything unless you really want to like go into why is it like this. It's there if you ever want to fulfill your yearnings and desires and whatever. It's there, and it's shared for you. So I am now in this elementary GPT builder. Okay, and my prompt is going to be, I want a 2-page back to school project for, give me a grade level.
Let's go with 3rd grade since that's what I mentioned before.
For 3rd grade science, or I guess 3rd grade does everything.
No, do if it's back to school, do what the Mary Alice was talking about, like social emotional learning or
Okay, let's do that
kindness or something.
with a tie to social emotional learning. So I'm going to hit enter. It's going to run. It's going to say searching. Okay, so it's going to give me this conceptual planning document that says like, I can show what it's like to be a friend, feel included, handle big feelings, and blah, blah, blah. So we'll just let it run. You can read it if you want. If you feel like it aligns well with what you want, then hit yes, continue. Otherwise, maybe the prompt that you gave it needs to be changed. So if it kind of aligns with what you want, hit continue. I'm going to say yes, I'm ready to continue. Okay, so it gave me some cornerstone performance things. Okay, so now I want to brainstorm. Yes. And by the way, if you don't want to go through the step 1 and step 2, you can skip it and you can just say, just brainstorm, projects about X for my grade level Y, So you don't have to do the step 1 and step 2 if you just want to do like simple brainstorming of project activities. Okay, so I have all of these different projects that I can now choose from. Luana, you're on the wrong GPT. You're on the old GPT, Luana. You need to go to it needs to say Elementary GPT Lesson Builder. What you have is you're doing version 1. Is this Paige's link? Wait.
The link I put in was from slide 34.
Let's see.
Am I supposed to just let it go through all the different module plannings and not interrupt it in between?
Yeah, you just let it go, and then it'll
Okay.
say it'll say go or not. So,
Okay.
but like I said later on, if you don't want to go through module 1 and module 2, you could just ignore it and just say go straight to brainstorm, and then it'll go straight to brainstorm if you already have a direction and know. So I'm not sure why, Luana, you have that output. Is it because it's a 1-pager? I'm gonna try again with the 1-pager. Maybe it will come up with something different. Is anybody else having a different output than what I'm showing you here? So anyway, let's take a quick vote and see what project we want to look at. Do we want to look at the feelings flip book, the welcome storybook, emotions expression gallery? Do any of these are any of these appealing? Maybe the welcome storybook, flip book. Let's try flip book. So let's go ahead. So once you've decided which project sounds good to you and is kind of appealing to you, you copy it, you paste it, press enter, and it'll generate the milestones. So milestone 1 is the title page. Milestone 2 is, well, technically it's page 2, not page 1. Big feelings, design your first scene.
Wait, sorry. And I apologize to everybody else. I was still finishing up the modules and I didn't see how you got to milestones. Does it do that by itself?
Yeah, it just does it by itself. So you just let it run.
Okay.
And then it'll get to the brainstorm section. And then when you get to the brainstorm section, you just choose which project you like. And then it'll just run for a while. And then it pops out the milestones. Is anybody having trouble?
Yes, sorry, me. Okay, so I got through all the modules, but I didn't select a project. It just kind of did it. Like module 4 says milestone planning. Is that
Oh, maybe it's
what you're
because you just said yes. If you
Yeah, I thought I
scroll.
was supposed to say yes.
Oh, so it's like, would you like? So it says here, would you like to move forward with module 4 milestone planning for one of these ideas? I can recommend the best fit for your 2-page time frame. So it's okay. You could just scroll up and you could just say, I want this one instead. And then it will grab the milestone for that one if you want to change the project.
Since I am so low on the totem pole on this, I'm just letting it do what it's gonna do, and then I'm watching it. I actually like what it's showing me.
So you just let it run and see what happens. And then we're going to do a little bit of a critique of the output in a little bit, see if there's anything that we can make better. I think especially when you get up to the upper grades, it becomes really sketch personally because I didn't optimize it. Yes.
I just want to interject for a second. So I did the same thing that Amy did. I just said yes, but then I went back and I reprompted and I said, redo module 4 with this choice. And then I chose the feelings flip book.
Yeah.
So, feelings voice book. So I reprompted it and
Okay,
it
Paige,
gave me what I wanted.
Did you do that at the end?
You could do that
Like,
anytime.
I'm at exit ticket.
It's okay. You could do it right now.
But
You could.
So
Yeah,
I can just
so
say, go back and look at peer feedback formats.
Yes. So what I did, I typed go back to module 4 and use the feelings voice book. And then it said, great, I'll revise it. And it gave me what I was looking for. So just you can just reference what you want to go back to.
Got it.
Yeah. So you should never feel hesitant about prompting. I think that's one of the big keys to learning how to prompt well is you should just try it. And if you start seeing
I just feel like I'm yelling at someone.
And don't worry, you just have to get over that feeling and just yell at them. Okay, you're like, you're not doing this right. Just do it right. At least that's what I do.
This is almost like this could turn into therapy, you know? Like, I could finally let it all out.
I'm like, why are you not giving me what I want? Why are you so dumb? Like, I do that all the time when I'm working because I will want it formatted as a table and it gives me a bullet point, and I'm like, I just told you I wanted a table like 2 minutes ago. But one of the strategies we talked about before was once it starts giving you really bad feedback, you just close this conversation and create a new conversation, because that means that the context that the AI has of all the information is now just getting jumbled. So it's forgetting previous parts of your conversation. So you just close it and reopen a brand new one. It's no big deal. So don't feel like you have to keep on continuing a line of conversation if it's not going anywhere. Sometimes it's better to just start from scratch again. Okay, so how's it going for everyone else? You guys went through and chose something, a milestone, chose a project, got your milestones.
I did. I think the only thing I'm not super impressed with is the word bank in the student organizer.
Yeah.
Because I'm
So-
doing 8th grade. And I got
Exactly.
words like tired.
Exactly. Exactly. So this is where you'll see that there is a deficiency in AI models, because what I showed you before with my my context files, I don't provide very explicit instructions regarding word banks. So in order to improve this model for the future, I would have to put that embedded within the instructions. Better yet, it would be that there would be probably grade banded GPTs, so that way the feedback, the word banks, and sentence starters will all be grade band aligned. Because right now this GPT is kind of like all grades, all subjects. Like it doesn't really know what it is. So
But think about it for a second though, because like if you look at the stretch word, drained, energized, reflective, overwhelmed, de-escalate, visualize, regulate, those are great. But when I'm thinking about my 7th grade kids, yeah, they're older, but they're still going to tell me they're tired. They're still going to tell me that they're sad or they're happy. They're not actually saying, I feel elated today. So on one hand, those emotions and feelings, as far as my word bank, I'm just trying to figure out like maybe why it gave me those words. That's a word that a kid can connect to, but it's also not just a word bank, like as far as vocabulary, it's a word bank associated to a strategy, associated to a visual word, associated to a personal expression. So if I look at it as a vocabulary word bank, yeah, it needs some help. But if I look at it in terms of what I'm trying to get the kids to understand for this particular project or lesson, it still makes sense that those would be the words that it pops out to me. Does that make sense?
So basically, are you saying these are the words that the students would most likely use as they
I
write
think
their
that's
stories?
true. Yeah, I think that's true as far as my 7th graders are probably going to be thinking those words when they're trying to understand and work with concepts of how they feel. I think those are going to be the first words that they hit. I think as a result of doing this activity, I would personally encourage them, okay, now that you understand the concept of what you're doing, I want you to think about when you talk about those words, I want you to start using stretch words. Like I might do that as a vocabulary word assignment or lesson outside of the actual coding assignment back to school lesson that we're doing. Does that make sense?
I mean, both ways work. At the end of the day, you're the designer. So if you don't like the word bank, you just tell ChatGPT, I don't like this word bank. Or maybe you're dealing with students that need like ELLs and they need definitions. And this word bank doesn't provide definitions. It's just a list of words. You can change the format. So for me, I made the format into 4 columns simply because that was, in my opinion, the most optimized way of putting vocabulary on an A4 sheet when it comes to viewing it, but maybe you want a different format. I also told, so it was my instructional, like my design approach to tell the AI that I wanted the words to be grouped by a thematic topic, and I didn't want certain thematic topics. So these are all instructions that you can give an AI. So what I want you to kind of like think is like, you are the instructional designer. You tell the AI exactly what you want to make it so that it fits your exact needs, because at the end of the day, you're going to be teaching it, not me and not anybody else. If other people use it, that's great, but it's really for you. So
How is the word bank actually used in the lesson?
it's not really used in the lesson. It's just there to support the writing process.
My
So
students use the word bank when we did the ocean mystery to help them with their writing, because they didn't know where to start. So it gives them some ideas of where. So if they look at in this example and they say in the first column, well, I'm nervous because it's my first day of school, or I'm lonely because none of my friends are in class, it gives them a starting point.
Right. Okay. So I'm looking at this. So the kids are going to see this table, these columns.
Yes, this
Okay.
is the
So
writing
I'm looking
organizer.
at it. Yeah. So I'm looking at it from my point of view. I'm looking at it to say to the kids, if you're starting with this particular emotion or a feeling, the row across is how you're going to build that strategy of what you're going to do. So personally, I like this word bank exactly the way it is. Not because I'm developing vocabulary, but I'm trying to help the kids understand where they are. And then really it's more about the concept of what do I do when I'm at this place, if that makes sense. So I'm not necessarily using this activity as a vocabulary builder until I go down to those stretch words.
Yeah. So like, for example, this GPT output only gave me one stretch word, which according to my instructions is incorrect, because I wanted at least 4 stretch words per column. So I am not satisfied as the designer of this.
Okay, so but I have 16 stretch words. I have 4 per I have a lot.
Yeah, it all depends on the
So
output.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, so
Okay.
as long as you're good, then you're good. Like me, I'm not happy, so I'm gonna like prompt it, be like, you didn't give me 4 stretch words for each column, and then.
And I don't know if it was Serena who was asking that question, but you really made me push outside where I was thinking. So I appreciate your question. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna finish up the assessment toolkit, and then we're gonna go straight into the lesson builder after that. So right now I'm at.
So we wait until we get to, would you like a downloadable version of the whole lesson?
Okay, so this is where GPT is really annoying. It'll say, would you like to download a Google link? And you'll say, yes, I want a Google link. And I'm like, oh, I want an editable doc. Yes, I would like that so much. And I'm going to tell it that, and it's going to say, here's your Google link, and you won't be able to download it. At least I've never been able to download or have a link that works properly to Google Doc. And when I finally like got angry and said, why is this never working? It told me it couldn't do it. So PDF does work, I'm pretty sure, if you want PDF. Otherwise, I just copy and paste this entire thing into a Google Doc myself, just as a reference. So you could see if it downloads. I think it might download as a docx file though. So if, let's try doing that. So if yes, I want it as an editable doc. Oh, it's gonna format it for me a little bit. I think it would have been easier to just copy and paste it personally. It's gonna take forever.
Well, I think the difference between this output and the original was all the choices aren't in this one, so it is more condensed.
Okay.
I asked it to compile it all together and it told me, yeah, I'm done. So I must not have any credits left. I don't know if anybody else came up with that problem.
Yeah, I could do it as a docx file. If anybody's having the problem of you don't have enough credits, you can just let me know and I can prompt it on my end as well. Okay, so we have where is it? Let me find the download. I'm gonna upload it as a document. I guess I could just open it. Yeah, this is so ugly. See if Google will like it better. Otherwise, I'm just gonna do my old school of copy paste. Yeah, that's what I thought. I could never get it to work well when I download, so I just always copy paste. Copy. Paste. There we go. Okay, so let's go straight to, where is it? What is the milestones? We're gonna go to the milestones. So this is the important part. We need to look at the milestones because this is, we're gonna have basically 4 milestones on elementary. We're gonna have, well, if you want 5, if you wanna do a pre-writing. I like to do a pre-writing as the first milestone. So in order to create on elementary in the lesson builder, you need to head over to elementary again. Go to the upper right hand corner where you have your avatar. You're going to click on that. You're going to go to My Lessons. I have a whole bunch. You probably don't, but you'll have a button called Plus Lesson. And when you click on it, it'll open up a dialog. Let me know if you guys get here or if you still need some time. We have someone new joining us. How are we doing here? Are we good? Thumbs up if you're good. If you still need some time, maybe an X emoji or any other emoji out there. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my document, and I forgot what the title of this was. Feelings Flipbook, that's what it was. So since I don't feel like typing Feelings Flipbook, I'm just gonna copy it and paste. You can name it whatever you want, and if you name it something wrong, you can rename it. It's not a big deal. Lesson duration doesn't matter. So you could just put whatever number. I don't know why this field is here anymore. I think it's kind of obsolete now, but just put some number. It doesn't matter. And you should enter something like this. So this lovely edit milestone is not highlighted properly, and you're going to click on that. And you're going to change milestone 1 to whatever you want your milestone 1 to be. So in my case, I would want my students to do the pre-writing worksheet because it's got vocabulary and all of that jazz and it's already outputted, so I might as well. So I'm going to say pre-write. And then I'm going to say something like, you will use the writing organizer to plan your flip book. Or whatever you want to call it. You can edit all of this later. It's not a big deal. So now it's going to ask you, do you want step-by-step instructions? Yes or no? So step-by-step instructions are basically the steps that you see on the side that says add a page, add a text box to the page, add a block to the page, connect this block to this block. It's all those instructions, okay? So we don't want step-by-step instructions in this milestone, because this milestone is just a information milestone. So maybe you want to put some links to external sources, or maybe have a link to a choice board or something. I just want this to be just a informational one. So I'm just going to say, no, I don't want step-by-step. Okay. And then I just click on plus milestone to add a brand new milestone to my lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and click plus milestone. And it's important that we really think this through, because our lesson builder is very beta and we can't go back and reorder our events. So we have to really know what we want to build. Hopefully very soon.
Nicole,
Yes.
Nicole, I hate to interrupt you, but a couple of people missed how to get into the lesson builder.
Okay, great.
So I don't know if you can go back
I'll
and
do that really
again.
quick. So I'm back here in like anywhere on Elementary. Do you see a little avatar, a little circle with a picture of an animal of some sort, unless you changed it? You're going to click on the upper right-hand corner. Okay, you'll have My Projects and My Lessons. You're going to click on My Lessons. After that, you can click on Plus Lesson to create a brand new lesson. You'll give it a name and then choose a duration. It doesn't matter. And then click on, I think it's Create.
Thank you.
Okay. So it goes back to here. I say, where am I pre-writing? I don't want step-by-step instructions. So when you're in the lesson builder, you'll want to create your milestone or edit your milestone. Maybe you want to change it up. And you do not, or if you want to go straight ahead, like you have a one-pager, you don't care about pre-writing, you can just go ahead and start creating, for example. Or if you think your students are okay with just coming up stuff on their own and they don't need to have a organizer or a pre-writing phase, then you could just go ahead. There's no like right answer. It's just how you want to run it in your classroom. So if you're only planning to run it for like a 50-minute period, maybe you don't want to have a pre-writing organizer. You just want to dive in and just have them write about their summer or whatever. Then that's fine. Okay. So I'm going to click on plus new milestone to create a brand new milestone. I'm going to click confirm. And it's going to give me this overlay again, where I can personalize my milestone by clicking on this edit milestone. And I think my first one was to create a title. Create a title. Let me go look. Yeah, title page. So I'm just going to actually go ahead and copy and paste that. Title page. And same thing, I'm going to say like, oh, copy and paste this so I don't have to think about what to write. Add a title, a background, and your name. Choose a background that shows the mood. And I'm going to click continue, and now it gives me the choice again. Do I want step-by-step or not? So if you want them to be open and you don't want to guide them step-by-step, it's fine. You could just say no and you can move on to the next milestone. But if you do want to guide them and say like, I want you to learn how to add a title, how to add a text box to the page, how to maybe code it, then you can click on, yes, I want this step-by-step milestone. So then you can say, okay, I want my title page, and you're going to build the absolute minimum project, okay? Because this is what every single student will follow. So don't worry about changing the font or all of that, unless you want your students to learn how to change the font. Just build the absolute minimum. Okay, so you notice when I added the text box, it added the instruction on the right-hand side. So it will mirror what you've done on the page. Okay, so let's say, for example, I accidentally resize it. It'll say, oh no, change the size of the text object. I don't really like this step though. I don't want resize to be a step that, matters. So I'm going to click on text object, resize, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on delete. So you can only delete certain tasks. Like this one, I cannot delete. Why? Because my text box is on this page. If I delete the text box, it will delete that task though.
So what happens if the students add a title and they do resize it? Is that a problem?
So this here is the teacher design view. Students will not access this. This is what you'll use. That's why it's orange. When it's blue, that means you're creating a story or a game or a project. You're creating something for other people to just see. When it's orange, you're designing a lesson that other people will follow and use, just like the About Me lesson that you guys followed. It was created using this, okay? That's a great question, just so that we can clarify. When it's orange, it means that or when it's like /lessons/edit, you're editing the lesson. So yes, if you want the direction to add a background, then yes, you just add a background. So maybe you want students to learn how to add a background. Then you just add the background, and there, boom, this background now appears. The task appears. So let's go back to edit task again. So edit task.
Hang on. Does it make them choose the background that you chose?
No.
Okay.
Same thing when you add a text and you change the text. You can choose. So let's go slowly first. So let's stick with background. I don't want to get ahead of myself. So background, I have some options for every task. I can add additional instructions. So I can say something like, choose a background that matches your, your project or your vacation or something, where your summer. Okay. If I wanted to, I can add a GIF of a cat, whatever. I could say like summer. Note, sorry, but I didn't fix this yet. But if you try to like press, oh, maybe it's fixed. I don't know. Maybe David fixed it. Never mind. I think it's fixed. I think David did something. I was going to say, sometimes when you hit back, it'll be like, you cannot delete this thing or something. And it's just a bug, but it's okay. I'm going to put summer just to see what I have. There we go. This is optional. You don't need this. This is really important though when you're adding text. So let's go ahead and add text to our page and have our title. This is my wonderful title. Okay. So notice now it says write something in the text box. That's why I said for when you edit text, it's really important that you change this. Otherwise, it's not a very clear instruction, right? And this is where when you go back to your writing organizer, you could kind of like maybe take from. So for example, this one's not a very good one because what kind of starter is this? Sometimes the starters are good, sometimes they're not. But let's say write your title here. Okay. And same thing, if you want to code, it will automatically add the milestones or add the tasks. It will automatically add the tasks. So notice it says steps 3. This is really important to watch out for because you don't want to have a milestone that has 20 subtasks. It's just too much. Unless you really, really have to. But if you can, it's better to keep them shorter. So let's go ahead and like on page start. I don't know. Let's say we want to play some background music. There you go. So now boom, all my tasks are here. So let's see what our next milestone is. It's the big feelings page. So what does your character feel at first and why? So I'm going to go ahead and copy. Create a brand new milestone. Paste. Big feelings page. And what does it say? Prompt. What does your character feel at first and why? Okay. Then I want to create a step-by-step instruction. And what do I need to do? Well, I need to, where's my milestones? I'll need to add a brand new page, maybe add a visual or a recording. So it's up to you. You don't have to do exactly what it tells you to do. You can choose to do something else.
So there are no emojis in this, in your images.
Okay. So if you want emojis, if you want to find emojis, I always just go to Emojipedia and just copy and paste the emojis from Emojipedia. That's what I do. Or I'm lazy sometimes and I just tell ChatGPT to find me an emoji that matches all of my milestone text, for example.
Okay, because the story that I am actually creating was an emoji mood board.
Okay. Yeah, so they would have to go to here to like get an emoji and copy and paste it in their text.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no built-in emojis here right now.
Got it.
Could you just use Control Command Spacebar and
Maybe
do it that way and then copy paste?
Maybe Control
Command Spacebar. When you're in a text box.
Where's even command? I don't even know where command is.
Oh, is that a Mac thing? Sorry.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's Windows, I think. The Windows icon, I think, is in place of command.
No, I'm not seeing anything. Okay, so can add it as a feature.
We're still on milestone 3, right? Because
yeah.
I think I missed a step. Did you code something?
Well, on milestone 2, I coded a music to play. Personally, you don't have to do anything. You could just remove it.
No, that's good. No, can you go back? I want to see.
Yeah. I just did on page start and then play music, and then it just added all the tasks.
Because that's what makes the kids learn how to do that, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Super. And sorry, what did you name that? Milestone 3?
Milestone 3, I named it Big Feelings Page based upon my GPT output because I don't want to think and I just copy and paste whatever it's telling me right now because I think it's good enough.
Okay.
But if your project is something else, then you could just use that. Just make sure it's all coherent and makes sense to you.
Okay, I missed how we go to the next page. Or we didn't do that yet.
We haven't done that yet. You see, we're just on page
Okay,
1.
never mind.
Yeah. So the big feelings page, I now need to add a page because I need a big feelings page. So I'm going to go ahead and add a page. And you see now my instruction says add a page.
Okay, I think I messed up in order.
Okay, so now I'm on my second page. And what do I want? I want to what?
Okay, Nicole, I'm sorry. When I added a page, it just added a step. Like it didn't go to another page. I mean, like it
Another
added
milestone?
But then, right, it just added a
Okay.
milestone.
So if you want to add a milestone, you have to do that manually. So you can, it's this plus milestone button. And it'll open up this dialog that says ready to add a new milestone. You click confirm and it will create a brand new milestone.
Okay, and should we do that when we add a page?
I personally like every page to be on its own milestone. That's my design decision. I think it makes sense. So
okay, that makes sense to me too.
So personally, when I like, and that's why I think when you have the output from the milestone planner, I think I put that into the logic that if it's a new page, it should be its own milestone. But sometimes a milestone can be, one milestone might not be enough. You might need to break it up. So for example, if you're doing like more coding, like let's say a choose your own adventure book that has 2 buttons that you need to code the buttons, right? I might break that up into 2 milestones or even 3 milestones, depending upon how much code I have, just so that, you know, this step number doesn't become ginormous. Because let me show you really quick. I'm not gonna, like, don't follow along, just watch really quick. Like, let's say you want to do a choose your own adventure. Look at how many steps it is. Add text, add a choice, add a choice. Okay, that's 3, 4. Okay, so now we're going to code the choice. 1, 2, where's controls? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It just becomes really big. I mean, you can, if that's all you're doing, but if you also want to like add a background or add a voiceover or something, you see, it just 16 steps for 1 milestone. I think it's a lot personally.
Yeah.
So
I think it would be very confusing for children, especially.
Yeah.
It's confusing for me.
So when that's the case, I will break it up. So I will do like the layout design on 1 milestone and maybe the coding side on another milestone.
That makes perfect sense.
So that's what I would do. But you see, when I delete, it will also delete the steps here. So now I'm back to where I began, which is I have a brand new page. So now I want to have like, what does your character feel at first and why? So let's say I want my students to, you know, grab a character. So I'm going to grab a character. I don't know. I'm going to find a girl. Why am I in Chinese right now? Keyboard. Okay. So I have a girl. I'm going to resize her a little bit. But I don't want this task to be here, so I'm going to delete that task. All right, so I have a page and a girl. So don't worry, it's going to be ugly. That is fine. At the very end, we can stop the recording of the steps and you can make it pretty without it adding all the steps. Okay, so you can make it into something that's, showable to kids as an example project. So I have my character, and let's go ahead and give her a speech bubble and have her say like, I am feeling. What was my sentence starter? Well, it's in third person, but I'm going to change it. I am feeling so nervous. And then you would want to add instructions for every place where it says edit text. Otherwise, the student will not know what they're supposed to write in that text. And so this is where it's really important that your writing organizer will match what's here. So it would make sense for kids when they translate from their writing organizer to elementary that it's not like they have to make something up. They've already written it. They just maybe have to type it again or revise it a little bit. So we didn't go through a revision phase of this writing organizer, but that would be what you would probably want to do kind of first before you go into the builder. So I have too many tabs open. At first they feel blank because blank. So at first, let's say at first, I felt nervous because I was the new girl at school. Okay, and notice I tried to make it a little pretty and just added a whole bunch of tasks, and I don't want that. I don't want that. Okay, I'm back to my plain instructions. So write about how the character feels. At first, because I was I blank. I don't know, whatever sentence structure, prompts. If you're an upper level teacher, maybe whatever deeper thinking you might want to encourage in students, whatever. It could be anything as long as it conveys what you want. So, okay, so now I have my big feeling. Where's my lesson? I'm going to go down. Okay, so now I need to create a brand new page. If I wanted to, let's say I wanted my kids to do a voiceover, then I would record the voiceover here because I want all of them to do it, right? If I don't care for that, I could just move on. So like I said, it's very, very, very tied to what you want the students to output. So let's say I have a lot of time. Yes.
I guess we could write something like referring to your organizer and then write about how the character feels.
Yeah,
just
you
to
can.
remind them that that's the reason why they made the organizer to begin with. I mean, again, I'm dealing with the younger ones, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's great, especially since if you have all the younger ones wearing headphones and if they all play with the read to me, then those instructions will be read back to the students. So it's very explicit and they don't have to be so confused. It's like, where is it from? So yeah, it's and if you don't really know how to phrase it, because I really struggle with student instructions to making them clear and concise and easy to understand, this is where AI is really, really helpful for. You could just take what general instruction you want, put it into the AI of your choice, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever is free. Then you say, rewrite this so a third grader can understand. Be concise. And then it will spit out something. If you don't really like it, you can say, write 3 versions of it. and then it will spit out an example. So like, let me go ahead and show you. So I have this. And I'm going to say, I'm just going to continue this conversation, and I'm going to just say, rewrite the student instructions for a third grader. And when I tell it to rewrite the student instructions for a third grader, this gets saved into memory. So you don't have to always say, rewrite the instructions for a third grader over and over again when you want to just have it spit out whatever you've done in the new version. And I want to say maybe include a better sentence starter. Okay, I don't know. So answer in chat instead. At first, because there you go. So then here is my improved student-friendly version. Tell how your character feels in the beginning. I kind of like that. Like this. I go back to ChatGPT. Try using this sentence starter. Or at the beginning, at first. So I don't like these sentence starters because it's not what I want. It will be in a speech bubble, first person. So then here's like some more varieties, and I'm like, when my day started, I was feeling because. I like that one. So I'm going to copy and paste that one and use that one as my fill in the blank example. So how are we all doing?
Good. I apologize if I'm monopolizing this.
Okay, so we are almost done. Let's see. So let's go ahead and move on quickly to, because I do want to give you more
Nicole,
time. Yes.
you did have a break scheduled, so I don't know if you want to take a quick break, let everybody
Yes.
catch up and
Yes.
digest.
Let's take a
then...
break. Let everyone catch up, digest, and we'll see you back in 10 minutes. How about that? Okay.
Are you going to go over how we would add if we want them to be able to talk? You know, if we want them to be able to record the voice?
Yeah, we could do that. We could do that next.
Can't hear you.
Yes, we could do that next.
You're still muted.
Oh, so many. This one. There we go.
Yes, there you go.
Yes, we can do that before we go to page 3, because I think page 3 is the last milestone.
Perfect.
So we can
Thank
add a
you.
voiceover for page 2. And then page 3 we can, I don't know, maybe somebody wants something in particular.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Also, quick question about, I went to the Emojipedia. And I can copy, but how do I add it to?
Yeah, so what you would do is you would copy, right? And then you would paste using Control V or Apple V if you're on Mac or
Right,
something.
so I guess, right, so my question is pasting it into my uploads folder? Like, where does it get
No, no, no.
pasted?
You would just put it in the text. So, like you want to do, what was it? An
I see.
emoji what?
So basically, it's just a mood emoji that I'm adding. Oh, the
Ah,
emoji mood board.
okay. So then you would say something like, oh, add an emoji. Well, that's not a very good emoji, but okay. Let me just copy this in case it gets deleted. If I override my my text here. But let's say I want to use the same emoji. Here. Yeah, I knew it. It would override it.
So you would put it into a text box? I
Yep.
guess that's my
Yeah,
question.
you would put it in a text box.
Okay, that was because I couldn't figure out where to paste it and where to instruct the students to paste it, because this is their emoji mood board that they're creating. Very similar. It's the same first day of school, how you're feeling, but this is for upperclassmen. So
Yeah, they
I
would
wanted to
just
do something
paste it directly in the text areas.
into a text.
Yeah.
Okay.
They could put it into any text object, so any of these, the
Okay.
title, speech bubble. They can also add it to the buttons as well. If they want to have like a button with an
Okay.
emoji. Text field should work as well, maybe. I don't know. I haven't tested it, but buttons I've used it before for sure. So just copy and paste them in.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Oh, I think we're time. So let's go ahead and continue with our mini project. And so on this page, let's say I want to add a not a background music, a voiceover. If I want to add the instructions for the voiceover, I just have to do it myself. So I just click on the microphone icon to begin. I'll click on the gray click here. 3, 2. At first, I felt nervous because I was the new girl at school. Okay, you can trim it if you want. Remember, this will be like your model story, so it's best if it's not complete nonsense. Okay. You can give it a name. This doesn't matter. It's just a variable that will hold your sound file. So you can name it whatever you want. Click on save, and then it will go, it'll add all of these instructions, okay? So then you can just edit the task if you want to give it more information, like read what you wrote in the speech bubble. Okay, so then we need to code our voiceover to play. And let's say we want to code the voiceover to play at the beginning of the page. But if you choose, you can also say like, oh, I want to click on the girl and have her play the voiceover with the animation. But let's just do something simple. And let's just do on page start. Play the recorded sound. And then connect our blocks together to make them work. And then what's the last step? It's to select our sound. At first, I felt because I was the new girl at school. Confirm. Then you just preview because you want to also simulate the preview. And when you click on preview, it'll add a task preview asking your students to preview the sound, preview the code and all of it. So when I click on preview, it'll add the tasks. And then if you wanted to, you can obviously, I can't edit this task. Why is it saying that? Why can I not edit this task? This is something that I need to fix. I think it's strange, never occurred before. I think it has to do with when I added the voiceover. Okay. So I think I'm pretty much done. And that's a lot of steps already. It's already in yellow. It's pretty good. So I'm going to click on plus milestone to create a brand new milestone, which will be our last page. So I'm going to change the name of this milestone to, where is it? Feelings change page. I'm going to get what changed their feeling? And once again, brand new page for a brand new milestone. Maybe this time I want to add a narration instead of a dialogue, speech bubble. And make something like Susie felt much better after her classmate Sandy helped her, I don't know. Helped her find her backpack or something. Obviously, this is not very, it's not a work of literary art, but you get the idea. So then you might say something like, write the narration of what happens to your main character with some sort of, where is it? Then something happened and now they feel blank. Example. Then something happened and now they feel. Okay. And you notice that sometimes the text here looks kind of funky because you see sometimes it's a different color because when I copy and paste it formats funny. So what I want to do is just like highlight everything and then just clear the formatting. And that will make it so if you copy and paste something green and it turns green and you don't want it to be green anymore, you can do that. Or you can also change the color here. So you can add all sorts of things to your instructions. But remember, it's very narrow, so you want to keep it as concise as possible, if possible. So is anyone confused so far about this whole process? And if you are, it's okay. What you can work on is making your writing organizer and all of that exactly how you want it. And I can really help you with this part of the creation process. And like I mentioned, in the pipeline in the very near future, we're going to have this part automated, or mostly semi-automated. So you just have to go in and change up the tips if you want, etc. But it does require quite a bit of fine-tuning and then coding work to develop. So oh no, Rachel. It's okay. We'll go over it again tomorrow with your own lesson. So this is the mini version, and we'll go through it again tomorrow. Tomorrow, the entire day is just building out people's lessons, and hopefully we can get around to testing each other's lessons and giving some feedback on it. So we're not doing any more coding and stuff like that in the sense of like, I'm going to make an escape room game. No, because what we really want to focus on is the instructional design. So I'm going to do the last page. Is it? Or no, I have the last page. So it's the last milestone. So I'm going to click on plus milestone. Ready to add? Yes, I'm ready to add. Okay, so since I'm now ready to add, I'm going to click on edit milestone. And usually I like my last milestone to be just an open one where they can design and add whatever. And I'll usually give a couple of ideas for kind of extensions. So I'll do something like final touches and tests. And I'll be like, add the final, or here's some ideas. Add more images, props, and characters, code and animation to play, and maybe like add another voiceover. Those would be like my extension ideas. And that's pretty much so what I want my students to do. They would, create 3 pages. They would code a background music to play at the beginning of the page. They would code a voiceover to play on the second page. And I think it's a good enough project to start with as a very intro project to introduce elementary and just to get their feet wet. So now that I'm done with this is the part everyone kind of like pay attention. This part is like really important here. Pay attention. Are we all good? So next to the microphone, you'll notice there's like this button here. And this button doesn't exist anywhere else except here. And it's basically saying it's recording activity, okay? Which means that every time I add something, it's going to record it. So since we know that this is my model story or my model project, and I want all my kids to like view this first so they have an idea of what they're going to create, right? I want this to be a little bit prettier. Not much, but a little bit prettier, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording activity. And this is where it's really important. You do not delete anything when you stop the recording activity. This can break your lesson and make you very sad. So that's why I only stop the recording activity when I know I'm done and I'm not going to delete anything. So I'm going to stop it. And now you see when I add, nothing gets added to my instructions. It's no longer recording. Okay. So I can delete this one because this was not part of my instruction set. But if I were to delete this one, for example, and this is part of my instruction set, it can break my lesson. So I don't want to delete things that I've added in my instructions while I'm in this mode, because it will not delete the instruction properly. And then you'll have some mismatches of stuff, and yeah, just don't do it. Just don't do it. Just be very careful when you're in the non-recording mode. So now, like when you're not in the non-recording mode, feel free to add, just don't delete. Otherwise, things are sad. So go ahead and add, make it pretty, you know, you can resize, change the
Nicole, real
yes.
quick, if you add something now that you're not recording, but you don't like it, you can delete the new
Yes.
things you just
The
added.
new
All right.
things, the new things. So let's say I added this girl and I'm like, you know what? I actually don't think I like her. You can delete her. She's fine because she's not part of your recorded set of instructions. So it's very important that you just remember that. Otherwise, very sad.
Is there a way to reorder tasks within a milestone, like while you're still recording?
So not in this view. If you want to reorder it, you would have to do it on the back end, not here. So yeah, it's a bit more annoying. Do you have a specific one you want to reorder? If it's like really killing you, you message me and I can reorder it for you, but like you can't reorder it here. And so like we were at a point where we're like, do we bother with making this better because we plan to automate this? So it's an interesting balance. So let's go ahead and make this just a little bit prettier. I don't know, find a cute. And so now I'm just designing to just make a nicer looking project. So when I show the kids, it won't be super ugly. Go ahead and add a background on this page too. This one.
So you're making it look pretty, but the reason you're doing it after you stop the recording is because you don't want that part of your instructions?
So yes, I don't want this stuff to be part of the instructions. I don't care about, you know, adding a rectangle and making it go behind the text. I don't want that as part of my instructions. I just want to make this look pretty so that when I showcase this project, I'll have an end result that the students can view, right? So they can kind of project what they're going to make. And it won't look like terrible. That's all. So, and if you want to change your text, that's fine. So after you type your text and you want to go back and you want to change it, even though it's not recording, that's okay. It's just really to delete. That's problematic. So you can change it. You can say like, now like, my emotional flip book. Her name was like what, Susie or something? Susie. Okay. So now that
Nicole,
yes.
I have another important question for you. If a teacher is in the middle of doing this during a prep and they have to walk away, can they walk away without saving their lesson?
Yes, so
Or
it automatically saves. I would recommend you just exit though, so don't leave it up, just exit. Like once you're done, just exit. It will save. So I'm gonna go back and
Okay, and then they can go back into it and finish it another day or
Yes.
another time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can
So
I
now,
ask a question about the chat builder that we were just in? Is that okay?
yeah. This one, right?
Yeah. So, okay, so I see the list of projects, and then when I just kept hitting yes, it just picked a project in the middle and gave it to me, and I kind of missed that point. But
Mhm.
my question is, even though I'm at the end and I have that project done, can I tell it to go back and now build out project
Yeah.
1?
Yeah, you
How do
can.
I write that?
You could just write it like, I want you to build out, and then choose the project name. So whatever the project name is,
Does
it's
it
like
need to know which? Okay, awesome,
it's
thanks.
pretty smart in the sense of like it will refer to the previous context of what happens. The
Okay,
only time is if your conversation gets really long and you don't feel like it's answering your question, then
okay,
you have to open up a new conversation. So that's the only thing.
okay.
But generally, it will remember your context as long as it's not like you haven't been in the same conversation for like 2 days or something.
Oh, no, I actually I've just been saying yes, so there's no conversation right now. Do I need to say go back to module 3
No, you don't
and
have to be
build? Okay,
specific. So you can also just say brainstorm. So like let's say like
okay,
I'm in here and I'm like, oh well, um, I want more ideas similar to the emotion flip um brainstorm
oh wow,
stuff.
Tracy, that's okay.
So now you have some my calm down plan or the kindness chain story, and then you
Okay,
can
and then what's
continue.
the verbiage I use again? If I
Uh,
just want it to build that project, do I say build that project?
yeah, you could just say build this project or give me the milestones, whatever you want. You just need to tell it specifically what you want. Like, do you want the milestones or do you want the
Do I
student
need to say,
organizer?
sorry for all these questions, do I need to say build the student project or just build the project?
It's better if you say exactly the output. So the best thing would be like, are you looking for the student organizer in particular, or you want like literally everything starting from 1 to all the way to the end? Because
Well,
when
in module 3, it gave me the project brainstorms,
yeah,
and there were some low floor ideas, middle level, and advanced. And I really like project 3 on the low floor idea just as a starter. So that's what I want it to build for me.
yeah, so just try it out. That's what I would suggest. Don't feel like bad about putting a bad prompt in. The only way that
I don't want to break it and then
you
have to
won't
start over again.
you won't break it. And even
Okay.
if it does break, like it just starts spitting out really bad stuff, you can actually just go and open up a new conversation, copy and paste, or
Okay.
even if you have a super long thing and it's way too long, you could actually download it and re-upload it and just say like refer to this. But most of the time, you could just copy and paste and just say, this is what I want. This is like continue with more brainstorm. Um, so let me just show you really quick. I'll be like, okay, let's say,
Okay, I broke it.
you broke it. Good.
Yes, like it literally is giving me code. Can I share my screen
Yeah, I
with
want to
you?
see
I knew
this.
this was gonna happen to me. This is what it gave me.
Ah, so right now, so exit out, click on the X button.
Right here.
Yeah, I really hate when it opens this personally.
Okay, so here's what I did. See, I just wrote build the project 3 energy. Is it because I used quotes?
I think it's because it thinks that you want the actual code to be like built. So you should just say like, no, you're not being very smart. And
It actually did the same thing for me when I was building one, and I had to change my verbiage to get it back.
yeah, maybe
Okay.
don't use the word build ever unless you're planning
Yeah,
to.
I think that's what it was, or I forgot what it was, but yeah, it did the same exact thing for me.
Okay, so this, let's see,
You can just
so this
like
is what
go and find the one that you want. Copy and paste.
I want
Copy
this.
and paste. Copy and paste all of it actually. Yeah, copy and
Okay.
paste. You just copy and paste that there and say, I want this.
I want this project.
You could say like, I want this for the milestones and student organizer. Or Rachel says, I don't want the actual code. Please do it in the previous textual format.
I broke it again.
No, I think it's okay. You can exit out.
Oh, maybe that's what this is.
Yeah, it's like placeholder project. Yeah, I think it's good now. It's good. It's good.
Okay. Okay. Okay, super. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so now that we're here, right? We're done with our kind of like final touches. Let's say I'm kind of ready to get my students, started with this. I'm done. I don't have anything else to add. I think it's good. I click on Publish Lesson. And then I would click on Use Story Thumbnail, and this would use the cover page as the thumbnail for my lesson, which is what I always do. I could go ahead and give it an overview. I think ChatGPT gave an overview already if you want to use that. Maybe not. I think it is here somewhere. Oh, sorry, you can't see my screen because I'm not sharing anymore. I'm sorry. There we go. So I'm here. Once again, I'm in my lesson planner. I click on Publish Lesson. It's in the upper right-hand corner. I click Publish Lesson. Okay, what I did was I clicked on the button, Use Story Thumbnail, and this would grab the cover page as the thumbnail of my lesson. I can change the lesson name. I can have the overview, objectives, subject, grade. I don't actually think my GPT spits out the overview and objective. So since it doesn't do that, I can go ahead and go in and say, I want the lesson overview and objectives. Yeah, let's just do that and see what it gives me. This is like way too long, the overview. Oh, this is way too long also, the objectives. So I'm going to tell it overview should be. So this is something that I will actually amend in the custom GPT because I actually didn't configure this, which was an oversight on my part. But overview should be concise. Student objectives should have 4 to 5 bullet points. And I don't want emojis because it's too distracting. Okay, I like this. So close enough, good enough for me. I'm going to copy and paste. In this lesson, students will create short digital stories to explore emotions and social connection through simple scenes and characters. They show how someone feels. And but it doesn't include the code that I just did because I did the code outside. So I'm going to go inside and say, so I'm back into my GPT. I can manually just change it myself. But I can also have it just write it for me if I'm really lazy. So I'm really lazy and I'll say like, include that the play music block was used on page 1. Play music block and play record sound block were used. Include the word code in the student objectives. So I had a question that says, in the code where there is the start page to play sound, do I have to put something in the sound or just the blocks for the lesson purpose. So you should think of the lesson as what the student will exactly replicate. So if you just put the blocks, then the student will just put the blocks. So if you want the student to play the sound, then you will have to select the sound as well. Same thing, if you want the student to preview, you will have to click on the preview. This is so bad. What kind of output is this? Horrid. It was better the first time. Anyway, for our purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this. You can fix up the exact language at a later point, but I'm going to save changes. So one thing I do want to go back is on the big feelings page, we did some code and we didn't explain it in the milestone. So maybe you want to explain that in the milestone. And you might want to use the exact block name. So in this case, I might say use the play record sound block to, so I'll say something like record a voiceover and use the play record sound block to play the voiceover. So when you use any block name in your objectives, it will automatically highlight to that block name color. But it has to, I think it recognizes the capitals and stuff. So let me try. I think it's case sensitive. Maybe not. Yeah, it's case sensitive. So if it matches exactly, it will give you the color. So that's just another hint, clue thing. But okay, so we're almost done with this. I'm going to hit publish. So it's okay. This is just a rough draft of stuff. We can click on publish. And when we click on publish, we can add some time. So it auto calculates some time. And what I like to do is I just round to the nearest 10 or 15. So like for title page, I'll say this is 10 minutes. It'll take 10 minutes. And maybe for my big feelings page, I'll say 15. And then for my feelings change page, sure, why not 10? And then pre-writing, I'll just do 20 and 20, 30. I'm pretty sure this can be done in one class period-ish, 1.5 maybe, 20, 40, whatever. We'll just do 15. So I'll publish this lesson. It's going to spin. And then boom, it's published. So then you can actually click on start and assign it for your students to use. And that's what the key is. You can also share it out to other people. It won't appear in the /lessons because it's like a private publish. You can only access it through your URL. It won't appear here. So I published it, but it doesn't appear here in the public lessons. But if you wanted to share it with a colleague, share it with a friend, you can go ahead and share it. And then you can just go ahead and try it out yourself to make sure, everything's okay. So, and now this is exactly what you were singing at the very beginning on Monday. And this is how our lessons are created. So there's a bit of a learning curve, and that's it's the unfortunate part of it, but I'm not really sure if there's really other tools out there that allow you this much control in terms of custom lesson design that's integrated within a platform. So I'm just quickly going through to just make sure it works okay, should work okay. So you could just let that all sink in. It was a lot. Does anyone have any questions at this time?
Does anybody have anything they want to share? Maybe somebody created something.
Everyone's super focused. So yeah, once you get more proficient at prompting, it will help speed up the process. But at the same time, I think that you have higher expectations as well. So then you spend a good amount of time. So I would say, like, I spent a lot of time before when I was doing it by scratch. But now, even with AI, I'm still spending a significant amount of time just so that I can get, maybe the vocabulary words exactly how I think would be best suited for the lesson. Or maybe the sentence starters are not grade appropriate because the lesson is supposed to be for middle school and it's giving me things like the person said ... So yes, I do agree that it is a better end product. And it doesn't use the same brain power because instead of you coming up, most of the time you're prompting for comparisons and you're trying to do like between these 4 versions, which version is best or which combination of versions is best. But of course, creating your own lesson is not an obligation at all. And if you feel intimidated by this, you can actually just provide me with the prompt output and I can help you build your lesson. I did that with Paige. So Paige did not go in to create this for her Ocean Choose Your Own Adventure. She just told me, I want to do a Choose Your Own Adventure on Ocean. And I went through and I created. Luana was the same thing. She was like, I kind of want to do something with US landforms. And I just generated something, gave it to them to look at. They said, it looks good. And then I went ahead and created it. So if you feel this is very intimidating for you, then you don't have to worry about it. You just focus on the prompt output. What project do you like? So when you're playing around with ChatGPT and it gives you like these projects, right? And you choose one. That's actually one of the hardest parts is choosing it. And then the real hardest part is when it comes to that organizer. Does that organizer have actually grade appropriate words? And you have to really do an analysis for that. So, but we'll have to have this completed for the credits. No, you'll just need to show that you have a project that you want to run. You don't have to actually create it on Elementary, okay? So don't worry too much about that. It's there if you want to do it. But the main thing I want you to do is you need to be able to output your student organizer. So I do have a couple of, let me pull them up really quick. Yeah, these ones, the lesson template examples. So you can use, for example, this one or this one. You can use these lesson template examples, and I linked them in the schedule document at the bottom under resources. I'll add some more later, and you can use any of the projects on elementary. Those documents, you could go ahead and copy them and duplicate them. Make a copy of them to use as a template if you want, or if you have your own template, you're free to do that as well. But there are some like key things that have been suggested, which is like, oh, it should be, the inputs should be color coded so that way it's clear for students where they're supposed to write, things like that. So I have been trying to iteratively improve this template. So you're free to use that. And then you would just replace milestone name with your milestone name, your student instruction with your student instruction. You would insert your fill in the blank sentences. And this document is what I want from you, okay? At the very least, this document. Because this document is the gold. What's on elementary is basically just translating whatever is here onto the digital part and adding a little bit of code here and there. But the actual writing and the displaying of the knowledge is going to be on here, on this student organizer, well, or a student organizer in general. If you don't like my template, you're free to provide your own as well if you have something better. Is that kind of clear? Yeah. So I just show you the lesson builder just so you can see kind of like the process, just like I show you the all of the stuff with the booleans and the logic gates and things like that, but those are all just, they're not essential. What's essential is, like, first of all, what project do you want? And then how do you scaffold that project to show understanding of the subject area? No, I don't have a rubric for you. I'm not grading you on anything. You make me feel stressed when you say things like that. This is supposed to be like a fun, like chill, let's just network and meet each other and learn from each other. Like, that's it. The Simplify Writing Organizer. I didn't link this one. Let me go ahead and link it if I haven't. And I'll put the other writing organizers as well because I have ones for like peer review. Oh, no, I have it here. And these are just pulled directly from existing lessons. So all lesson plan. Yeah. What I would really appreciate though from you guys is, like, let's say you copy and paste your output from GPT onto a document. If you can actually go through and like say what parts were bad about it, that would really help me with making the GPT better. And of course, all of the reference files I will update, and you'll have access to those. I'm just going to update the PDFs whenever I make any changes. So I know for sure it fails for like high school, middle school, even, because I just haven't put that much fine tuning in it. And I hope that like we can all like fine tune it together, since we have so much experience in this group. Because sometimes the output is just really not good.
So to be clear, we work on our lesson plans tomorrow,
Yes.
but the thing that you would like to see is one of those writing organizers, whether we use the
Yes.
simplified or template 102.
Yes, or
where
your
we-
own or whatever. Yeah, something
right,
that
where we show you what the student would be
yes.
completing.
Yes, because that's what you will want to give to your students at
Got
the
it.
end of the day. Like, it's for you. It's really for you.
Right.
It's for
Yep,
me, but
yep.
I want it for you. So I will
Okay.
also try my best to help you. So if, for example, you need to have a choice board with grade appropriate links to research, if that is something of your choosing, we can work together to figure out what kind of prompts would be useful and help create those choice boards, or go research them old-fashioned way and get those to you. But we want to make sure that you walk away with something that you can use in your classroom. Not just like, the lesson library of elementary or whatever, but something that like is completely pertinent to your specific like classroom context, unit of study, whatever, all of that. So that's why that kind of leads into, once again, if you haven't already, please fill out the asset resource feature request blah 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 form, because that will allow us to be able to upload assets, so that if you create, for example, a lesson on the age of exploration about, I don't know, somebody there, like some specific topic there, we can make sure that we get, age of exploration stuffs on the image library. So for example, Paige, she wanted to do the stuff with the ocean, choose your own adventure. I had to make sure that we had, sea turtles and what else was there?
The jellyfish, sea turtles, trash, eels, snails, horseshoe crabs.
Yes.
Nicole created all of those things for us.
Yes. So I need that list so then I can create it. Otherwise, I'm just creating random stuff, and it's not like, it's useful. Like having an image library that's bigger is useful, but like I would like to make sure that we can fulfill what you need first. Rachel, we should just have you on board as part of our team for helping us with compiling things, because you already compiled everything. So, anything else?
Okay, I have a question. So just out of curiosity, I started a new chat and I said, create a choice board of activities that teach students the use of coding blocks in elementary. And it gave me 9 different activities. But from there, where do I go? Because
You just put the name of the activity that you like the most.
I want all 9.
You have to pick one. You start one
Okay.
at a time, okay? We
Okay.
do one at a time. So pick your favorite one. Otherwise, you say pick a random one and pick it for me. So pick one at a time. Once we're done with one, if you're done with that and you finish the template and all that, we can do the second one. Don't worry. If you're done with that, we can do the third one. So we do it one at a
Okay,
time.
so do I say build or do I say make or
No,
do
just
I know
I just
I
copy
feel
and
so bad
paste.
for all the rest of
No,
everybody who
no.
has to listen to me ask this question
No,
over and
no,
over.
no. Don't feel bad. So you just copy and paste. I just copy and paste the project title. I say, I like this one. Go. It needs to
Okay.
know exactly which one you're referring to. So you just copy and paste the project title and say go or something. And remember, if it spits out funny things, then it's a really good learning opportunity for prompting. Then you're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't prompt that way. So just don't feel bad. If everything breaks, you just create a new, like you just refer, you say, go back, try again. I don't like it, try again.
Okay.
And so since we are using AI to superpower our teaching and learning as teachers, we always have to be very, very critical about the output of the AI. And so I have, where is it? I have like these kind of like, it's not really discussion prompts, but it's more like reflection prompts that you kind of should always just keep in the back of your mind, because you have to, I showed you the context of the type of information that is used as the bank to create these lessons. And that bank of knowledge is, first of all, it's not very complete because it's very vague from K to 12. And maybe it's missing certain groups of people. So we have to always keep those things in mind when we're prompting, because I'm not perfect and AI is definitely not perfect. So there's a lot of biases. So we have to always keep in mind like what the vocabulary, all that stuff, is it introduced, reinforced appropriately. I personally always check the vocabulary every single time. And I always find it that I'm not satisfied. So you might have to handpick the vocabulary yourself, or find other ways to say like, oh, I want better versions of this word than what you've given me. You might want to think about what kind of other supports you might want to include. I try to be deliberate in that in the lesson design process. But as you can see, sometimes the output that the AI gives doesn't even match what my instructions say. Like my instructions clearly say, give me 4 like challenge words. And it did not give me that at all, despite me writing explicitly that I wanted 4 stretch words per column. So we always have to be mindful of like, yeah, well, just because you say it should do something doesn't mean that it'll actually do it. And then one thing that I always struggle with is like, are the objectives and outcomes student friendly and measurable? And for that, I always like to do the check of write it so that a 3rd grader can understand. So whatever instruction I have, I'll just copy and paste, be like, write it so a 3rd grader can understand, keep it in simple language or stuff like that. And you guys are the experts, not me. I mean, most of you have been teaching for a long, long time. So you could probably look at the lesson plan and be like, this is not good and this is not good. And please tell me, so that way I can try to improve this, this knowledge base that is developing these, lessons, so that in the future it can just be better for everyone. So love to hear from you guys throughout, not just today or this week, or throughout the year. If anything comes up and you feel like, oh, this is good or this is not good, I'd love to hear from you about that. So that's just my little 2 things. I don't know if Paige has any tips for prompting for lesson plan design or anything in general.
No, I think I put my 2 cents in, but the most important thing that I want everybody to take away with this is that get used to the platform. Don't, I mean, you're going to do this for your project for tomorrow, but but when you're in the classroom, get used to the platform, and then you can come up with the perfect lesson. So for tomorrow, you're just going to create something that is practice for you. All right. So like Nicole said, there's no rubric. She's not grading you. We want it to be something that you will be able to use, but it may not be perfect. So don't stress over getting it perfect for your students. Right now, the whole point is to get used to using the platform, getting used to using ChatGPT and creating your lessons. So don't don't stress over any of this.
Yeah,
And
don't
we have
stress.
supports all year for you if you need them.
Yeah. And so even greater than, because I told you like elementary in the future, we're not going to be having like hopefully the you copying and pasting into this template document because that's very tedious. Hopefully it'll just be like, I like this, and then it'll just like spit out the template for you, and then after that you can just change it up and change what parts you like and what parts you don't like, but most of it will already be there for you, like, which would be magical. So like part of the goal with the ChatGPT is really like to introduce you, if you're not familiar yet with ChatGPT, to or AI in general, to see how you can kind of use it in your workflow to speed up certain processes, because you are the expert, so you have the ability to judge whether or not it's good or not, and that's something that when I say use of AI, I really differentiate between whether you're an expert or not. So students are not experts. They will not be able to very easily differentiate whether something is complete nonsense versus something that is completely factual. So yeah, but as an expert, AI is essential. Essentially, like I don't think the future, if you're an expert, you can get away with not using AI, even though I am very hesitant about AI in general. So, but that's just my little opinion about things. And I don't know, are you guys, I feel like you guys are all like super hyper focused. So maybe we should just let you guys play around with it. I originally did want to have some conversation, but I don't know how you guys are feeling right now. And I did want to have a little bit of conversation regarding AI and what your opinions are, because I'm really curious. We hear a lot from like, certain speakers, but we don't necessarily hear from like just regular everyday teachers who are in the classroom seeing the students every day. And I think a lot of us would appreciate each other's perspectives about these things. But if you guys are also working, I completely understand that. Or if you guys are just tired and want to go and take a nap, that's also understandable. I don't know. What are your opinions? What do you guys want to do? You have option 1, which is continue working. Continue playing around, ask questions as needed. Option 2, let's maybe talk to each other.
I'm actually good with continue working.
I think I'm at a good stopping place, and so I'm good with stopping at this point and picking it up tomorrow.
Okay, so I think a lot of people want to kind of have a conversation, but we want to maybe move it to tomorrow. Maybe we can move it to maybe tomorrow morning. We can have a conversation. How does that sound? I think everyone right now is just like, we're done. And by the way, one last thing. I will say it again tomorrow, but there will be a final report or final survey that Infosys sends out, or that that they want you to complete, that we'll actually do in our time together tomorrow. So that's for Infosys Foundation USA, who's the sponsor. And if you could please tell them that you think 40 hours is a lot. If you think it's a lot, then that would kind of be appreciated. Because I personally think that 40 hours is a lot. Or if you like 40 hours, would you like a different format? Like, I don't know, over the course of 2 weeks or over the course of 3 weeks? I have to work within my constraints.
Or possibly more asynchronous time.
Well, I don't think we can. So if we want to be close to the rules, I don't know. I think they got angry already this year because people last year, I think, had too much asynchronous time. So they had a lot of emails that were underlined that said 32 hours minimum synchronous, like in bold, I remember in the emails. Does anybody need any support? We can also open up rooms if you all need support. Or if you guys, and if you want to leave, then you can go ahead and leave. But if you do want support, we can open up some rooms and support you that way.
I would love some support.
Okay, that would be perfect. So let's go ahead and open up rooms. And if you want to just head out and go, I'm not covering anything else except, oh, let's do one last thing, which is what are we doing tomorrow? So tomorrow we're going to be finalizing the lesson. So that will be the templates. Basically, all day tomorrow will be like pretty much a work day, kind of, with support. And then, of course, our panel is going to be awesome. And I think we're having some new people coming in. And it's all about coding confidence with some maker mindset. So yeah, that's basically the plan for tomorrow. So see you all if you're heading out, and if otherwise, we'll go into breakout rooms. We'll open up the breakout rooms, and then I'll be in a room to support. And I think I'll also pull in David, and he'll come in to support as well.
I made two, I didn't open them yet, but I made 2 rooms, actually 3 rooms. One is Nicole, one is David, and then one is just another room if you want to work with some other people. Or again, as Nicole said, you can say good afternoon or good evening, and or stay here in the main room with me. So I'm going to open those rooms. And you can choose to join. That you should see one that says Nicole, one that says David, and then one that just says room 3. So if anybody wants to go to, yeah, David, Nicole.
Recording in progress.
Hello, hello.
Hi. I
Hi,
don't know what happened.
Rachel.
There we go. Hi, I feel super behind. I'm gonna catch up though.
Oh, I want to just stop recording. How do I do that?
Recording
You would think I would
stopped.
know how to use this stuff, right?
Zoom. So much fun.
Stop. Okay.
So I'm just
So
looking
what
at
do you guys
the
need help with?
I'm looking at the writing organizer just to
Or
see
you want to
like
just go over things?
I just feel like I kind of missed all the
lesson planning, like what you want
Just
us
like
to
muted
do. But
yourself. I think I
oh,
know what you're trying to say, but
hold on. I'm unmute. Am I unmuted?
oh my God, it's me. Hold on. I say something.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm like, I'm unmuted.
I think it's me. It's because I moved my chair and I hit my microphone connection or my headphone connection and then
Ah, okay. I'm just trying to look at the way you have the writing organizer set up and sort of like figuring out how to go through and do the lesson. Because I mean, I'm pretty proficient at AI, so that's not a concern for me at all. I'll probably build a notebook LM prompter with all the resources.
yeah, that's why they're there. So
Yeah. So
I mean, I was like, you could use it if you're familiar, you can have it. You can even edit it directly. So you have something that's more aligned to what you want, because some of my stuff is still version 1, let's say version 1.2.
but yeah, no, I think it's a nice way to do to kind of get your output. I used to just do general prompting every time. So being able to do the custom GPTs or the notebook LM, with all the resources right there, and then continue to have conversations based off those resources is a game changer.
So that's good then. I've been somewhat useful.
Yes. So I'm gonna see what I can do with that and see if I can build my problem is I get to what's the word? Like where your eyes are bigger than your stomach. I get over ambitious, maybe, when I start to think about introducing things to kids. So I always I start a little overly ambitious and then I got to pare down.
Okay, so you said about the lesson template. I mean, the lesson template, I just copied an existing template and I just removed stuff.
Right.
And then you could just copy and paste the tables for however many pages you want, or if you want to create your own table. I mean, the main idea is like it should just be clear for the student to know where to write. That's all. So if you have a better layout, then feel free to use that and share it with me also. But
No, it's not that. I was just trying to get an idea of like how you want us to go about and how we actually build the lesson, because I feel
okay.
like I missed the part where you were actually starting to build the lesson. So that's
Okay,
where
so
I'm
let's
playing catch
go
up.
ahead and start that again then. So basically, let me share my screen. Okay, so right now I'm in elementary. I go into my little avatar. I click on my lessons, and then I can click on plus lesson. Then I'll give it a name. So I don't know, my awesome lesson. This doesn't matter.
Okay.
It just doesn't matter. It used to matter and now it doesn't anymore. It should just be removed. But we haven't gotten around doing that, so it's just there.
Okay.
So then you go in and you just have to name your milestones. So milestone 1, I always like to have it as the pre-writing, unless it's a
Okay.
one-pager. If it's a one-pager, then maybe there is no pre-writing phase, but usually it's like my pre-writing research phase if I want to do like a research thing. And then
Yep.
here I will just like probably say something like, make sure to finish the pre-writing organizer, and you can have ChatGPT make it pretty, or whatever LLM.
Right.
to finish the pre-writing organizer and research choice board before beginning, something simple. And then you can then hyperlink that. So you can go ahead and copy it, insert link, and then you can hyperlink it to your Google Doc or your PDF or whatever. So, because also the goal is when everyone finishes publishing, what I would really like then is I will then try to get GPT to align them all to standards, and then we can then publish it, like make it public on Elementary, so then all the other teachers in the world can therefore use your lesson. And you'll be the author of it. And then you can see how many views it is and how many times it's been used and all that fun stuff.
Cool.
So,
okay.
I'm going to go ahead and click on yes. Include step-by-step instructions. In this case, since it is a pre-writing research organizer, I don't need step-by-steps. So I'm going to click on no. And I don't know, Julia, do you have something in particular that you want to ask, or you're just hanging out here?
I'm hanging out here. I have a draft of something that I'm thinking about building out, so I'm just following along to see
great
what those things look like. And
do you want to show your draft? Because sometimes that's the easiest way to learn, is kind of by like working through something real.
Like my from ChatGPT, what I'm working on.
Yeah, like what you're doing. Sometimes that's, I don't know, for me that's the best way, but if you're not comfortable sharing, that's okay too.
Oh no. So I like I said, I played with the ChatGPT until I sort of built the conflict lesson. Let me
share
I'm
the
sorry.
link.
I'm gonna have to. So I am. Okay, let me sign in with the device. So I'm zooming in on one device and working on the other. So let me just try to zoom in on my computer for a second, because I found that has fewer conflicting reactions sometimes. Or not. All right, you know what?
It's okay. We'll just continue.
Sorry, the ChatGPT app on my phone might be able to share. We will see.
Yeah, just see if there's a link. If not, it's okay. We can share it on tomorrow and work through it.
All right. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, and it's just the share the GPT link, right? Not your GPT.
No, just the link.
I'm sorry, because what it's coming up with is share. It looks like it's just going to share your GPT back at you.
Let me see. I don't even know what happens. No, it says when you go to share, it says share public link to chat. And it says create a link. Is it like that on yours, or are you on the phone?
I'm on the
phone app.
So let me. Okay.
How does that? I don't even know.
Okay, I'm at. Let me. To the bottom. Going to Zoom. Okay.
Oh, it's Share GPT. You just click Share GPT at the very top on the phone. There's a little arrow icon, at least on my phone. And it says Share GPT, see details, review GPT, manage chat, I think. And under manage chat, you can have share.
Yeah, if I do the one at the top, I'm pretty sure it was just.
It's manage chat. They have a managed chat. Do you have that? It's at the bottom.
Okay. There it is. Okay. Sorry. There we go. And so mine is, like I said, it's conflict. But that's because I do have 7 through 12. I think that's what I shared.
Yeah, hold on. My copy paste is funky sometimes. Okay. The need meter drama lesson.
Yeah, well, and I'm gonna change the title and stuff, but it had So is it only showing you the last one?
I think so.
Okay, let me go back and try again.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
No, not a new one.
Sometimes when it opens it up in Canvas, I've noticed that the results are worse, personally. When it opens it up in this like document file thing, I hate it. I always like it to respond in chat, personally.
And so it has like I did all 3 of them in chat, and then okay. Every time I click, it's trying to do a new one. Okay. Share GPT. Trying again.
I think that's my GPT.
That's what I was afraid of. It's like
Yeah.
it's either giving me your GPT or it's giving me the last lesson of the GPT. But that's
It's
probably because
okay.
I'm on my phone and I'm trying to get off my phone.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll do it. We'll do it tomorrow. Or otherwise, you could just do it old-fashioned way, put it in a Google Doc like me, and then share out the Google Doc. I hate
Well,
the
again,
shares.
that like I said, that's something it's easier for me to listen and watch on my phone while I'm working on my computer than
Makes
it is
sense.
yeah.
It just makes sense. So I think I actually closed my elementary tab. Did I? I was working on.
Possibly. All right,
Dear.
conflict. Share. No. Share.
Okay, I think I closed it. Let's go back.
Create link.
So I'm in my lesson. So Rachel, basically the milestone then you can decide if the milestone is step by step or not.
Okay.
So you can technically just make a lesson that just has like
could I have each page be a milestone?
That is what usually I do. So you can have each page be a milestone, and you don't even need to have the steps if you wanted to. You just say page 1, write this, and then you can add another milestone. Page 2, write this. But like, it is nice to have the step by step, especially if you want to include the coding aspect of it. So like when you have milestone 1, you might say this is going to be create your title page, or whatever the GPT milestone thing will tell you. Generally, the GPT milestone should have each milestone be its own page, but within one one page, you might want to break that up into multiple milestones if it's too big. Too big meaning like there's a lot of code on it. You might want to say like design it first, and then the next milestone will be now you're going to code it.
Okay.
Because like, for example, if you're doing a choose your own adventure, that's 2 blocks, or that's 2 buttons that you're going to code. And it starts to be a lot if you're doing like adding a text box, adding a character on top of it.
Right. I'm going to keep it simpler because I'm actually aiming for 2nd grade.
Oh,
and
perfect.
I really kind of want them to do a sound effect or a voiceover.
Yeah. So create your title page. Then you just say like, this is my awesome title. Well, it should be your objective. So student, you should write your title here. Or write your title here would be better. Then you would say step by step, and then you would build your absolute minimum project. So this is what you want every single student to do. So you would want to have the text, and then you would want to have your title. So notice that when I added the text and changed it, it added the 2 instructions. And the second instruction here is write something in the text box, which is very vague. So you would want to say something like, type your title here, or type the title of your story here, to be even more explicit. And then if you want to say record a voiceover, then you would go ahead and record a voiceover. It would add those tasks. And then every time you code, it will like on page start, play text effect. It adds all those blocks in the order that you do it in. So before you go to the next milestone, like maybe you don't like the order of things, you might want to just like delete. And when you delete, it will delete that task.
Okay.
Or maybe you don't like play text effect because it takes too long. You want to use fade instead. You could just grab that and then redo it. So notice when I delete all of my blocks, you see there's no more coding instructions.
Okay.
So it's reflecting exactly what is on the page.
Okay.
So there are certain things like if you resize, it will say change the size of the text object, which could be good if you're dealing with first grade, right? And you want to like,
yeah, I like that. Okay.
So like it's very explicit. So you can be like, oh, maybe you want to talk about resizing. Maybe you want to talk about changing the font color.
Right.
But maybe if you're in 7th grade, you don't care about that. You're like, no, I don't want to deal with that.
Okay.
So you could delete those steps. Okay,
so I just highlight the entire step and delete it if I don't want it.
Yeah, if it's something that's like resize. If it's like adding the text, you just delete the text box. And it will delete all those steps.
That's probably good. Resize, change the color.
Exactly. So if you're like dealing with really young kiddos, what do they learn? They learn, oh, adding objects to the page, resizing objects to the page. Maybe you want to, copy and paste an object onto a page to create like a hidden picture book. Or maybe you want to learn how to change the font color, change the font family, stuff like that. So
okay,
so that's all there. But yeah, if you don't want like these kind of optional things, these ones you can delete because they're kind of optional. But like notice add text box, you can't delete that because you have to delete the text box to delete this instruction.
Okay,
that's the logic. All right, so let's take a look at this project, this ChatGPT thing, see if it works. Oh, I have stuff.
I have stuff.
I have stuff now.
Julia, what grade do you teach?
I teach in juvenile detention, and it's like 7 through 12 usually.
Okay. I'm like, because this is a little complicated for littles, so I was kind of curious.
No, it is, okay. and I don't. I had one 5th grader last year, but that was like, he came in one day and was gone the next. He wasn't going to be with me, but like my 10th, 11th, and 12th graders can be with me for an entire school year sometimes because they're on capital murder or something similar. So,
right.
So for me, the easy side of it was just they have to basically write a story where the character has a physical need, hungry, tired, whatever. What is it? Hungry, tired, thirsty, and part of this is based on the number one reason we have fights is because they were trading snacks.
Okay.
So like that's just but it's the idea of breaking it down into create a character who has a need, and again it was hungry, tired, and I'm not sure about that, how they ended up using at the very end where it got very complicated.
It's fine. I think it's more like I think my document, my reference document doesn't use the right, the specific block name. So I have to update that because it says set hunger equals -1. It's just basically saying to decrement hunger or add a consequence.
Right, that would, so decrease, yeah, I was playing with the de-increment blocks a minute ago, or it was like add one value.
Mhm.
And I actually had a question about that when I was playing with it on the student side. Is there a way to have like a counter to show your like inventory is for your number block?
For the inventory for the what?
So like if I have you picked up a key in the
Yeah.
key story to open it. Is there a way for there to have an indicator that says you have one key, you have -3 hunger, you have
Not easily right now. That was kind of
Okay.
like on our list of what we wanted to do, but we haven't
Okay.
implemented that. Yeah, you could kind of do that, but it's like
I was trying.
Yeah.
It was. I have a maze on
Uh-huh.
on one of mine when I was trying to do it. So
Yeah, so when you pick up a key, what you could do is you can say something like, it's not super easy, but it's possible. Let me go into a project. Doesn't matter.
So the lodestone one actually had. It's the one I was doing numbers, but.
So what you could do is when you pick, which I don't even know which key is which anymore. I'm going to delete one really quick. Okay. Image 2 is the one there. Okay. So what you could do is if you say on click, pick up key is true, right? So I need my Boolean variable as key. It's my logic variables. Equals value. ASCII is true. What you could do is you could do like on page start if basically you would say if your has key is true,
then the key image icon shows up.
Yeah. Or you can actually use show. I don't know if to show hide at the beginning. Whatever, we use fade. Okay, so now your key's not there, but when you pick up the key, then it's on page. So basically, it would have to be
It'd have to be on the next page.
Yeah, because it's on page start. So
well, if you I was
I
gonna
go
say collect.
here. Go ahead and grab our key here. Click. So if I preview here, click on my key, has key should be true. I go back, my key's here. So you could kind of do with the has key to display or not display, but then it's like
has a little apple visible when they're on that. I would just have to have that on every slide.
Yeah, and that's why it would be really important for you to design properly, because you don't want to be coding like this all the time. So like, especially if you have an inventory of like a lot. So you would just like copy and paste the entire, like duplicate the entire slide.
Yeah.
And then you would have your inventory here every time. Does that make sense? Kind of?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. That's an order thing, is like you need to code what they need first.
Yeah, so that way you don't have to go back and code every single page afterwards.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a pretty fun thing. I think this is a pretty fun idea to have a inventory. It's pretty complicated though. I wouldn't suggest it as a first activity, but
Yeah, no, it's and that's one of the things is I've noticed a lot of the so I have sometimes they're super high functional. Like I mean, I have a student who's, wrote a novel last year. I had a student who so it's not necessarily that stereotype of I'm illiterate. So it's trying to give them something complicated enough to entertain them.
I mean, I think that you can do this as soon as you finish the what is the treasure chest example.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And then you can level it up, being like, okay, now you know how booleans work, and so now you can like play around with booleans, and they do cool stuff.
Yeah, that was well, and after the treasure chest, that was the iteration of you pick up one, you pick up, right? Multiple, your inventory is actually 5. Is there a way to indicate that? But
yeah, so then it would start, yes, you can. It's just more like then you would need to start adding a number of variables. So you would have like, okay,
Right.
has key is now true, and then you would deal with number of variables and stuff. But I think that's like, honestly, that's like pretty complicated, even at a high school level. Unless they're like really familiar with coding.
well, and that's where I had it with stretch goals,
Mhm.
right? Like your baby step is you have to write a story where character 1 has, needs something, right? Food, sleep, whatever, right? And their conflict is they interact with the character who's trying to prevent them from getting it. Okay.
Yeah,
And
because
what are
like even if you deal with just Boolean variables, you don't have to like complexify it with other variables. You could just focus on also like the writing portion, because then you can have, if you have the key, the dialogue will be different than if you don't have the key, for example. So then you start having like more branching sort of like dialogue options. That can also be a way to complexify.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I was doing that in the play project that if you selected the role of one thing, the results would be different based on, right? Like if you select a kind character, your interactions won't include fighting.
Mm-hmm. But like, you want to say your bag is full then, if you have like 5?
Sure.
3? So
yeah, 5.
So this is like bag count, for example, you would call it, or item count. And then it would have to be like, okay, every time so in this case, item count. So I would, where am I? Here, on click. Where's my on click? Oh, here it is. I was like, where is my on click? Okay, so every time I click on it, well, then I want to increment my variable. Exactly. It doesn't really matter if it's here or here. It's so fast and instantaneous. It basically does the same thing. So item count by 1. Okay.
Right.
So then later in my story, I can say like, oh, if item count is
5.
Yeah, 5 on page start. Do some logic, compare numbers. If my item count is 5, then you say like, oh, your bag is full.
You can trade because you have surplus.
Where is it?
Sorry, that's heading into economics.
Equals. Oh, well, I was like, what was I doing? This kind of reminded me of the cookie clicker extension I wanted to do, but felt like there were a lot of people that were just stressed. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So in our case, we didn't do anything to stop the click. You can make it so it only triggers once, or you can make it fade away once you click on it. So let's just go ahead and grab 5 just to check our logic. Bag is full.
Yep.
So that's how you could like build up. But yeah, I think the cookie clicker game is pretty fun too, because you have for the extension, it's a good way of showing numbers if you have an inventory system, because you could say like, oh, once I get 15 cookies, I can enter the store and buy a grandma that will then bake cookies every second and increase the number of cookies I make. And that way they really practice just the number variable and understanding number variables in general.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, that was great. Thank you so much.
Problem. Yeah, this is fun. Like these are fun things. I think though that once they get to this level of understanding, then it's the step by step is not really like as
necessary.
Yeah, as necessary, because really the step by step is just ramping them up so that they can feel confident enough to explore also on their own. Because I think once you get to that point, you're going to be like, oh, this is so boring. Like this is so brain dead. I'm just copying what's being highlighted. So I think part of the fun when you start coding like more proficiently is really being, oh, but this is kind of cool, and this is kind of cool too, and this is kind of cool. So maybe like what would be cool would be like if you wanted to do like for those that are really like proficient in coding, more like idea choice boards that they can kind of tackle and challenge and kind of consider it almost like a coding challenge. And you can also make it kind of collaborative, so they have to figure it out kind of together how to code that. I mean, obviously you can still do step by step, so that's always a thing, but I think once a project gets so big, the step by step is more of a hindering factor than really helping, if it's like getting to like 20 milestones, for example.
Yeah.
Right. Like we're really just trying to introduce the concepts in the step by step.
Yeah, like so for example, like having like a snippet like this and showing them that and be like, okay, how can you kind of like use that in your project? I think the one that was here with just the basic one, I think this can be step by step just fine. And then all the other stuff, you could just have that as like extensions where you can maybe show the code snippet, or at the very least give them like, here the example, and let's think through how we can implement this, or is it even possible, and like what are some ways that we can go about it. Because there's also like not like when you get to variables, because variables are just containers, you can actually solve the problem in many ways using different types of variables. So like I might be using in the case of like compare number, obviously like number 5 is probably the best choice, but sometimes for other ones you can use other variables too in more creative ways. Might not be the most efficient way, but it is still possible. So
Right. No, I was playing with one that had the Boolean or and a
Uh-huh.
Boolean and. And it
Yeah.
was like, you must have the character role of, I forget, something, and then have another variable of something else. And if you didn't have both, then you couldn't move on to that stage, or it would force you to a different slot. Yeah, no, I was.
Wow, you're so advanced. You're like, have you coded before?
I have a little. I did Scratch. I did a couple of other things. I'm very, very familiar with ChatGPTs and other LLMs. So, partly because literally my principal, because our in order to be standard compliant, I have to have active lesson plans for every week from 5th grade through the 12th grade for every class period for every day of the school year.
That's rough.
Yes. And
How's
so
that? Wow.
the principal basically flat out told us, she's like, you need to have one grade level lesson plan that you're actually planning on implementing, and ChatGPT is going to write the rest of them for you. By the grade, based on the grade levels and the standards, ChatGPT is going to fill out the template for everyone except the one that you star for me.
Yeah.
And because I want you focused on student in the classroom, not writing 10,000.
Not paperwork.
Well, I mean, we still have to write more paperwork than we know what to do with, but she's like, in these particular instances, this is how we're going to try to make it make sense.
You guys use custom GPTs?
Yeah, I've written several custom GPTs, including, yeah.
Oh, you're better than me then.
Here's the lesson plan template that they require. Here's the blank template. Here's the categories, what they are. Here's the active teaks. Here's the, so yeah, we have.
Okay, so we need to have a conversation so you can help me make my lesson builder better.
Yours is, it's pretty amazing, especially considering you've coded it down to a specific template, right? To get the results that you're wanting. Mine is literally just filling in the CSV,
right?
Because ours are basically a spreadsheet.
Okay.
So,
I didn't do the standards alignment. That's the only thing I'm missing on mine, but I have to just get those files at some point. But I think I want to make mine grade banded so I can have proper language for each grade band. It's kind of making me upset.
Well, and it depends on the subject so much. Like if I look at, character conflict, the grade band is going to go down to the 4th grade. That's one of the things we notice with like English. It's so vertically aligned, right? The very basic of that 4th grade was the character has a problem, right, that they need to solve. That's the understanding. And then you get up to the 12th grade and they have a, socioeconomic problem that they need to solve. So it's
I haven't played around much with GPT Playground yet, so I'm definitely going to do that next to see if that's worth anything. But
yeah, that's one that I was going to move on to, but honestly, I have to get to a place where I'm at this point, the $20, I just use GPT for wherever else I need it. I haven't got Playground up and running.
I mean, Playground, I'm like, I don't know how much it costs for I did how many requests? And it's like, what, 2 cents already? I only got it up and running like 2 days ago because everyone was so confused about all the AI stuff. So I was like, oh my God, I gotta make this easier for people, man. And also with the lesson builder, I'm like, okay, so I gotta make this easier. So I spent like a whole night making those documents and
Have you tried to see what the difference is when you use like Notebook LM and ChatGPT and the different?
not with the this one. I haven't tried it with other ones yet. The
Well,
this thing.
so Notebook LM only pulls from whatever documents you give it in the folder. Like it won't look
Right,
anywhere else
so-
on the internet. It's only.
So I'm kind of loving that because I just got exactly what I wanted by putting all of Nicole's examples.
That might be interesting. I haven't tried Notebook LLM. I've only used ChatGPT, and I haven't done a comparison yet of this file with other LLMs. So then, yeah, I'm gonna
I'm
definitely
like
try
the
that.
person that tries everything on like 3 different platforms.
Well, you need to
and
copy and
I-
paste your results and give them to me because right now I'm like, I'm at the point where I'm making the PowerPoint slide of what I'm supposed to do for today, like today. So I don't got.
Well, and you can make a like what they call a gem, where you have a dedicated
Yes.
Gemini that is like a specialized ChatGPT, where you give it the same coding instructions you gave your ChatGPT, and it's just
Right.
Gemini, and it actually will make it into like the document you're looking at.
Yeah, I
'Cause
need
it can't,
to.
because it is Google based, then it can make a Google document for you.
But I was
Right,
just
that-
planning to make it with the Google API anyway, so I don't like, because I have like really specific, I want to have like the cells be yellow and stuff.
Right.
Mhm.
So, because can Gemini do that, or because I was planning to just use the Google API to code that. That was going to be my project.
I think Google might be able to. I was actually going to take a look at seeing if I could do it in Brisk too, because Brisk automatically generates the document for you right in your browser in Google. Like it just forms a new Google Doc and boom, it's there. But I was trying to like with that, I'd really have to choose what resources I want to give it. So I think it would be really dependent on what my output, what I wanted my output to be, which resources I would put in as, my reference items.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would play with the gems. There's some good folks out there that are doing tutorials now. I think it's, what's his name? Seth Leclerc. He does a lot on YouTube, and I think he has one. I know Dr. Michael Harvey did a webinar today that I missed because I had a doctor's appointment, but it didn't matter. I was at the doctor. But there's a lot of good ones out there right now about how to utilize them.
I'm going to ask, can Gemini output tables with formatting?
Even Canva can do amazing things now with its Magic Create. Like, I'm going to experiment once I have mine done and without kind of graphics, I'm going to put it in and see if they can make it pretty.
It says the formatting is basic. The table arrives as monospace, text, or plain row columns, not as a Google Doc if using Gemini with workspace access. So I guess I'm going to code it.
But I mean, it looks like something like this is almost, if you have the template, it's almost a mail merge.
Yeah, it will be. So, but I just need to have, well, the thing is, it won't be exactly always the same. So at the end of the day, you'll have a couple templates and you don't know how many pages there'll be. So it would depend upon how many pages for the output. Yeah, so it's not as simple as a mail merge, but I think I'm just gonna code it, I think. Because the other thing I have to do is I'll have to format it as like a JSON or something, so that way I'm gonna send it to the elementary backend, and then it's just gonna come up with all the steps for you. So you don't have to go into the lesson builder to generate your steps. So basically, in the future, all you have to do is type in your prompt, aka I have 7th grade, I want blah, 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 and then choose which project you want. And then it'll just generate everything for you from the template all the way to the step-by-steps. And then you just have to go in and, you know, add some GIFs or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, sorry. Because I can literally give, I'm pretty sure I can give.
Guys, I'm gonna have to go. My 4 kids are hungry.
Oh, go. I mean, it's way past anyway.
I will see you tomorrow.
You take care, and I'll see you soon. Okay? I'm gonna head off to sleep soon, but Julia, you were trying to say something?
Sorry, I said, yeah, I went down the rabbit hole. I was.
What are you looking at?
Oh, I'm playing with creating, you know, a Gemini gem
Mhm.
to see what will happen.
A gem
Like I said, I went down a
for
rabbit hole.
to do what exactly?
So I haven't actually played with Gemini to write my lesson plans.
Uh-huh. Is it any good? I
That's
feel like
what I was. That's what I was trying to find out. So, yeah, no, I was playing with it. I've because like I said, I use ChatGPT all the time, so I was most comfortable with that. But I'm willing to test and find out.
Well, you test and you tell me, because I currently don't got the time to test that. So I'm going to rely on you for that. I'm
Yeah,
just like,
well, I mean, the only reason I'd switch is because my school actually is a Google-based platform, so you know, I'm going to be on my school Google account, so if I need to use Gemini, if that's in my Pro, then great.
exactly.
Yeah, so all right, I will see you tomorrow.
Okay, well, take care then.
Bye.
Bye-bye.